We are turning all the things on. We are live on YouTube and Mixer and Facebook, and Periscope is coming on, and so is Twitch. I'll wait for Charlotte to frantically run in here and say that we're online. There it is. I see all the blinking lights that I need to turn on, so I'm going to go ahead and begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to DnD Tonight. My name is Bradley, and we are hosting another wonderful episode of After Hours, episode 9, if you can believe it or not. We are sponsored by Corporate Streams, and before we get into this, I wanted to go ahead and make a quick statement about what had happened and what is happening right now in our country and across the world. Last week, we chose not to produce any content to stand with the Black Lives Matter movement. While it is a week later, the issue has not lost any of its importance, and this is still something that's happening. We're a small channel right now, and we are still building our community of players. And as our community grows, we try to create a diverse community. I really mean it when I say that D&D is a game for everyone. And we here at D&D Tonight support this movement and encourage everyone to help out where they can. People looking at donating to organizations and signing petitions that are fighting for justice and equality. There are a few of these organizations that you can donate to: the official George Floyd Memorial Fund via GoFundMe, the Minnesota Freedom Fund, the Reclaim the Block, NAACP, Black Visions Collective. After the stream, we will be putting all of these links in the description below on YouTube, on the video, just so that you can have access to these organizations that you donate to. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I honestly believe that we should point towards the voices that need to be heard in this. So without further ado, and without going too heavy, I want to go ahead and introduce our wonderful players for this evening and for this game. Mike, who are you bringing to the table?
Hello, today I'm bringing Hogan Taint Von John to the table. He's a rough and tough barbarian with a heart of gold and a brain of stone, or something that's not very smart. He's hoping that he can leave the world a little bit better than how he's left it the past few years. Let's see if he can pull that off. And also, this isn't a lighting issue. I'm really stupid, and I'm hurting.
Next, we have Mr. Nolan. Nolan, who did you bring to our table today?
I am bringing back a 5th level paladin, Kalashtar Paladin Corn Harass. He is an agent of House Denise, and he's here to provide some muscle in a very rough and tumble world for everybody out there.
Excellent. Mr. Lumen, welcome back. Who do you have with us today?
As always, I have the very flamboyant, very changeable Eros Mitka, the sailor of sorts, the artificer, the man who creates the most best of all the land. Yes, the most best. Not just the bestest, but the most best alcohol, ale you've ever had. Also, congratulations to Miss Taint Von John.
Oh, yeah. Our boy here got married a couple weeks back, and he dropped. No, wait, he's still here. Adam dropped.
Oh. I'm out of here. Fuck this. You know what? All right, I'm going to spend a few hours.
Full life commitment? I'm out.
Thank you, guys. I'm very happy, and we're both bummed we had to put out the reception, but very happy to be able to celebrate our love and everything. And
yeah.
Here's to you, man. Last and a little bit least, Mr. Adam. Hello.
I'm playing Roderick Fairseas, the ever so titular assassin of the group. So
he's the smart one.
No, absolutely not.
You're both.
I thought that's what we had Mr. Taint by John for.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's the
You're
smart
right.
one.
The
Hold
brains.
on, I gotta change this in the notes real quick.
So if you are just now tuning in to this cast of characters, I want to go ahead and let you know that After Hours ain't like your typical D&D show. This is kind of a shared campaign that features almost self-contained stories that you're rewarded for if you watch them all in sequence, but you by no means have to. Each episode is contained to run like a one-shot with a beginning and a definite end. Although the story continues through a narrative, you can go ahead and check all those all the videos that we've done beforehand, as next video will culminate to more of a finale of what we've been building to, at least for this first chapter. Corn, Roderick, Eros, and Hogan are all currently at the Clifftop Adventurers Guild. Things have been shaking up in Sharn and, in fact, across all of Corvair in the past few weeks. There is a city that was completely decimated by some kind of magical attack that no one has taken credit for just yet. And on top of that, we are starting to see the escalation of militarization in different countries. The Valinor elves are currently gathering up and consolidating their armies to go and place towards the borders that Zilargo and Valinor share, just to be ready for anything. We've also seen Thrain beginning to collect grain and stockpile it for an early harvest to help feed any armies should they mobilize. Currently, all this just seems to be wild accusation. People who hear in from the east are told that the Valinor are finally striking back and have access to secret magical bombs that they've been stockholding for these past 10 years. Others are hearing that the Zalargans destroyed their own area to reignite the war to help increase their machinations of magical items that they can go ahead and sell wholesale to armies about to return to war. And meanwhile, in Breland, where you guys are, in the city of Sharn, the entirety of the Clifftop Adventurers Guide, has been in a frenzy because many people have been becoming proto-conscripted, meaning that if a war breaks out, they are to report to the front lines in the king's service to fight in a war that is looming over everything.
So like a draft?
Yes. The first thing that the kingdom does is mobilize their own military, but they also look to places that are within their own country and begin saying that it is in your best interest to serve your country since you operate within it. A lot of adventurers you'll find have left the Clifftop Adventurers Guild, just the physical building, saying that they have work elsewhere. More or less looking to like hang out in places like the Lazair Principalities or or Drome or even the Shadow Marches, just to kind of wait out the war until it all blows over. And then there's you four. You four are kind of stuck here, kind of deciding on what your plans will be, waiting for any work that'll come, deciding what, if any, move you are to make, or if it's just a matter of waiting to see what happens from here. So there you are, all in a mess hall, the grand mess hall of the Clifftop Adventurers Guild, and you are free to your own devices to discuss the current affairs of a not yet at war, but war-readying nation. Today's breakfast is toast, eggs, and bacon.
Eros has a giant plate of eggs and bacon. 16 eggs.
I just have a plate of bacon. Just a single plate of just stacked bacon.
I just
half a pig over there on the plate.
I mean, I get the whole pig if I could.
I look at the guy serving breakfast arrows, and I'll go, I'll double what he's having.
The human gentleman kind of just nods at you and goes ahead and gets out not a plate per se, but it looks like an entire serving tray, something that they put all of those things on. Yeah,
whatever.
We'll go ahead and call it a trough for the purposes of it.
2 troughs, please.
You are not going to be able. You know what? Both of you make Constitution saving throws. I don't give a shit how much food you think you can eat. At some point, you're going to have an issue.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah?
Ooh.
Yeah, you'll see very soon because I got a 2.
Well, I don't like mine as a 9, but maybe.
We're going to be stopping by the roadside here, I think, in a very short order.
Anyone's fair square? I gotta.
If you're looking to get rid of it quickly, I mean, we can also provide coffee for you if you're interested.
I'm just going to carry it in my bag.
Gosh. The two of you matching, like seeing like each other kind of stacking up their plates one by one. You guys have this, it's like you going on vacation to a place that has full service breakfast when you wake up in the morning. You just put all the shit on your plate regardless of if you can finish it or not. And that is in fact the issue that you are having currently, Eros. As going in about 5 eggs and 3 pieces of bacon in, you stand there with that 4th piece of bacon, and you're kind of looking at it wondering, like, if you can eat this tree bark of protein and stomach it down one more bite. Do you wish to try, or do you want to just leave it as it is?
Oh, I'm doing it.
I'm trying.
All right.
If real me would try it then.
Yeah.
3 eggs and 3 pieces of bacon.
Same.
So how are you tackling this particular thing? Are you breaking it off, folding it? Are you biting into it
I'm
immediately?
just
Biting away.
It's so good.
As you rip off the somewhat greasy and mobile bacon, you are able to tear off and finally complete and eat it. And you just begin to hear, oh.
I'm going to put it down. They'll never draft a fat man.
One approach.
I'm the smart one here.
You could change your shape to not be fat, yes?
But I'm not.
That's what I mean, yeah. I'm not worried about getting drafted. I got connections.
I'm gonna gangrene this. Eros is gonna gangrene his face. I got a lot of. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to war. Oh, all right.
One individual also in the Adventurers Hall, it looks like one of the only other people here. There's not a lot of people currently out, as opposed to it would typically be. Mornings are usually a busy place in the mess hall. It is uncharacteristically easy to get food today, and probably the reason why there is so much surplus. One gentleman walks over, dark hair with very long sideburns draping down, and a very polite mustache. Kind of walks over. He says, "Hello there, gentlemen. How does the morning find you?"
I mean, they're about to shit themselves.
You don't. He's on to something. He's on something.
My
Grab
goodness.
a cloth napkin and throw it at Eros and tell him you're sweating there a bit from your brow. You might want to.
The cloth does nothing.
This guy just kind of looks over. He's like, right. I mean, it seems your friend's eyes are bigger than his stomach.
What? Oh, I'll fix that. Hold on. And they just get smaller.
Dear God. He's a changeling. You had me there for a moment, sir.
Yeah, you'd think you could make his stomach bigger, but no.
Well, perhaps I can make your purses bigger instead. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Richter. I unfortunately took on some work, and I won't be able to actually complete my contract. I have spoken to my issuers, and they've told me that if I can find someone who can take my spot, that they are welcome to release me from the contract and take on the new hires. Are you interested? The pay is
Go on.
What's your job?
It's simple, really. It's information gathering on a particular bard somewhere in the city and locating a specific entity, something called Roka's tree.
And what's the pay?
Well, that's the best part about it. They were offering initially 300, but I was able to talk them up to 450 for myself. And they told me that they would go ahead and accost that to any of the people that I took on as hirees. Essentially, you would be taking this on for me. If you're not interested, I can pass this along to someone else in the adventuring hall. I just saw if you were preparing for a day as heartily as you gentlemen are, and if you were looking to get some work that is outside the city, that you might be interested.
Always like going outside the city. Good to see new places.
Indeed.
I could go for a walk.
Well, there's always
Or like a roll at this point.
Roll me.
Yeah,
Eros just falls off the bench and just rolls on his side.
Is he going to be all right? Is he ready for such a...
He's far from okay, but we'll go ahead and we'll get on this case.
Excellent. You're looking for a bard by the name of
a weird
Shilgar.
That's a weird name.
Yes, it's actually the moniker. He's a bard. His name is Shilgar, and he's somewhere in the lower reaches of Sharn. He puts on a play hosted by children almost every day at noon. You can probably catch him there if you run and catch a sky barge.
I
Now,
am a
you said
sky barge.
it's hosted by children, or he hosts children.
No, he. No, let me explain. The show that he performs or that he directs is put on by the local children of Sharn, just anyone who has any interest. Long ago, Shilgar used to be someone who was somebody. He was a playwright for several fabulous beer halls and tap houses, and he would put productions on for the people there with regaling stories. You might have actually heard of some of his earlier work, but he was in search of something. The story goes that when he went off into the deepest reaches of Karnath, he found something, and he only wanted to make plays about that, and that became a little bit dry, so he lost funding, lost actors, and eventually began just putting the play on by anyone who could. And in this case, children.
Okay, I thought he was like aliasing as the famous bard. I forget his first name, but Jackson. He had something to do with kids. I didn't. But anyway,
I believe. Jeez, fuck, Adam.
Eros pipes up. His first name's Miguel.
Miguel. That's right.
Miguel Jackson.
Yeah. No, it's on my shoes.
Which end is that coming from?
Both.
Yes.
Goodness. He goes ahead and he places some paperwork down on the table. He's like, if you sign on this page, they'll go ahead and recognize that you will be the floor holders. Your contact for receiving any payment would be Marco of the Dark Lanterns. You can find him in the embassy district. Find Shilgar first. Find out if you where Roka's tree is, and collect your reward, I suppose.
What is the reward?
And
450.
What is the tree?
That's just it. Apparently, it's the only thing that Shilgar writes about and puts plays on about. But I myself have not seen it. I've not gathered the intel. I'm due to be elsewhere by this afternoon and couldn't look into it. I took the job up last night, not realizing I had made up further plans. Scheduling.
So
what
are we just
interest
like
is this tree to your contractors?
right?
You're looking for a tree in the city? I mean, there can't be too many of them.
As I understand it, it's what Shilgar found when he left Sharn. We don't know where it's located. That's part of it. Find out what it is and where it is, and then report back to them. I'm not exactly sure what of interest it is to Marco, but regardless.
So out of all the W's, you don't know the why?
Supposedly, it leads to some information regarding the war. Apparently, the Dark Lanterns have been busy with espionage tactics and counter-spying to make sure they have all the means to go to war and the right reasons to, or the right reasons to not go to war. They're trying to prevent this from breaking out, essentially, and they somehow think that Roka's tree will help them. I didn't ask why. I was very abruptly reminded of my station when I pressed for further information.
And this playwright you speak of, he apparently has been able to evade the Dark Lantern for this whole time. He's a playwright, desperate for people to do his play. You said what?
He hasn't been evading them at all. In fact, the Dark Lanterns have not shown interest in him until very recently. I was given the task because I was hard up for coin when I asked for it, and found out that was not the case this morning, so I could just leave. This was going to be my last job, but now I have the funds to afford leaving. It was just picked up and offered by the Dark Lanterns as courtesy. They're giving a lot of contracts out to adventure guild types. But no, this is a fresh requisition. They won't even notice that it was you that picked up the contract rather than myself.
Why
Marco,
haven't you beat up the children yet? They're the ones acting the play. They should know all the story.
He looks over to you, Roderick. Sir, your friend, he seems to be in dire straits. The food is not agreeing with him, I think.
Well, I mean, there's been no one around, so we've had the whole, kind of galley to ourselves. And
Waste not
I
want.
mean, I've eaten a lot of bacon, but that man has eaten more bacon than I've ever seen. So
Okay, roll me back to the trough. I'm not finished.
Anyway, I have not beat up the children. As I said, I picked up the contract last night and then received missive this morning that I had funds in my account from a previous endeavor and was told I could go. So I'm leaving off in search of better work outside of Breland.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
9.
9. Fuck me. All right, well, that'll work. The man is very hard to read. You can't really tell if he's telling you the truth or not. It's pretty early in the morning. Before coffee, it's really hard to connect with a human being.
Truth.
Anyway, best of luck on your journey. I should hope that I should see you again in better circumstances. And right, your friend, I have some mint on my person that will be for the taste in your mouth. And he kind of just passes you over like a mint leaf rolled up into a small little tablet.
I squint at him. Are you telling me you prefer the smell of mint over bacon?
I don't know if I'm going to offend this man if I say yes.
Insight check.
You actually say that as you squint your eyes at him.
I got a 14.
14. Again, a very hard to read individual, especially when you're currently feeling a little bit seasick and there's no sea.
Never get
Yeah,
seasick.
I'm typically hard in the, I'm pretty hard in the morning too. So
It's a wonder he can roll out of bed. It's like a kickstand. Anyway, the gentleman bows lightly, walks away, making sure to step over the puddles of vomitus that have been created by Eros, and exits the mess hall, leaving you to your own devices.
I'm not done eating.
No. Then
Kind of just snack away at some bacon while I wait for Eros to get better.
Yeah. Eros.
yeah, once he's better,
Over the course of I'd say maybe 30 minutes, he's slowly pushing his stomach back to normal, and now he's back.
Excellent.
Before he's still kind of mouth breathing. Before we go forward with this, he pulls up the scrying ball. I want to, with all of this going on, there's someone I want to see if I can check on. And he's going to try.
Are you trying to figure out where the steward for the buffet went?
No,
He was
I know.
here 4 minutes ago.
No.
He'll be back. You don't need a scrying ball for that.
I know where he is. I tracked that man. I know where he is.
yeah, he's in the bathroom sobbing right now. We can hear him.
All that work. All that food.
He's going to try to scry for Captain Mitka.
Okay. Go ahead and hit me with that scry, baby. Oh, well, actually, it's a saving throw on the person who's getting it done.
Yeah, so he's wearing, right now, from the captain, he's wearing his coat. And if I remember correctly, there was a deduction for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. I forgot about scrying as a spell. I gave this thing. DMs who...
Here we go. I found it. I got it.
Same. I got it here. Possession or garment. Okay. So you know the target well, so that's it's going to reduce the DC to 12. And the connection that you have with them, you have his coat?
Yeah, he wears Eros wears his brown coat.
Okay, so then...
Another -4, so -9.
Yeah. The target has to make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know them and the sort of physical connection you have to them. Okay. As you peer into the crystal ball, you can see that as you peer into it, you can see the table you all are sitting at, the four of you, and you see the picture kind of zoom out suddenly and like flashes and kind of like push out further to the Clifftop Adventurers Guild, and then the Desharn as a total, and then all of Breland. And you see bits of flashes of moving cloud until you see a small airship hovering in a storm cloud. And as it gets closer and closer, you can see through one of the windows the bearded face of Captain Mika.
Can I do a further perception check to see if I can recognize what he's doing, or does it just give me what?
Well, the full effects of the spell would be that you can kind of see that he's operating a skybar. Gosh, what is it? Airship. There it is. Okay. He's currently communing with it to move in a certain direction. On board, you see a gentleman who is speaking to them in a conversational tone. Mitka responds with, "We should be there within a day. Although, weather permitting, it may take us longer. No, I understand my place and our arrangement. It will be done. Fair weather storms."
Do I hear what the other person said to him?
Make a perception check.
Nice. I got a 19. No, wait,
Nice.
sorry. 20. Unnatural 20.
You're able to hear that the conversation is that of a captor to his prisoner. Simply said, he says, "You better ensure that we get there within a day. Otherwise, certain loved ones might disappear as part of the testing of this new weapon."
And then from there, do I see anything else, like as far as what direction they're going?
They appear to be moving. The airship is just moving in the sky without any sun to kind of let you know like which direction it's coming from. It's impossible to determine the direction that it's going just based off of the movement that it's going.
Got it.
Through that, the crystal ball vanishes, the image within it.
Eros comes back. And you see him kind of like get back up, and he just quietly signs his name. And he just kind of sits back down and just kind of like starts nibbling on the little bacon and just kind of looks at everybody and says, "When you're ready, we'll go."
Let me just get a little bit of bacon for the pockets. I think I'm about ready.
Pocket bacon.
Oh, pocket bacon. Oh.
Later on, I can almost feel it happening. Someone's getting their hands broken by someone in the party, and then Hogan's just going to take out some of the pocket bacon and eat it while it's happening. I can just see it happening. It's like it happens so loudly in the future. It's hitting me in the past right now. Okay. So the four of you finishing with your breakfast. Are you putting your trays away anywhere, cleaning up, or are you just leaving it there?
I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay.
I'll put my stuff away. I'm not messy.
Okay.
Idiot. Not messy.
Says the guy who just stuffed bacon in his pocket.
Hey, I got more pants. I'll be fine.
I'm going to...
All of them have stains.
Eros is going to like tip his hat down to kind of cover space, but I'm going to slide a hand, like 2 handfuls of bacon into my pockets.
Fuck me. Roll.
I got a 14.
14. Okay. You're able to get 2 brief handfuls of it and just shove it down into your pockets.
Wait,
as
what
you
did
do,
you get?
Bacon.
Just 2 handfuls of bacon. Just slide a hand, 2 handfuls of bacon into my pocket.
Just my passive perception, I see you do that. Ah, jeez. Oh, God.
Corin is the one who hails the sky barge, and you guys are swiftly taken down to the district that was given to you by the gentleman before. As you arrive, you can kind of tell that people are beginning to like there's a different tone about the city where usually it's jovial, or not even jovial, but at least there's a sense of like business is happening, move from one place to another. I got a bunch of different things. There seems to be more hushed whispers, people talking about what's occurring, people arguing over things like, no. If there's a war out there, then I'm not going to be able to get the yeast in that we need for provisions. And then all of a sudden people are missing their bread. And then what do you do when you have a hunger strike? And then you have another person who's off speaking like, sorry, sir, I have to requisition all the gunpowder here for the king. I understand you have private sellers, but we will pay at price and forego tax rates for you for the foreseeable future of 3 months, if that's agreeable. Like you can see that all of this is now in a what if situation. As you pass, I would like everyone to make a perception check.
14.
14. Okay.
23.
23.
18.
18. Roderick, it's you who can kind of hear the sounds of someone like shouting out to the crowd, like, "The show shall begin in 3 minutes." And you're able to kind of point out past like moving people and the different vehicles that are moving about the cobblestone streets. There seems to be like a little shitty stage. It's essentially just a platform, probably no bigger than 15 feet by 10, with like one very noticeable trap door that opens up the wrong way. On it is what you can see their best attempts at scenery, which looks to be a forest. It looks like a bunch of paper has been shredded up and made to look like leaves and placed kind of irrespectively on certain sticks to give the sense that it's a forest. As you approach, you can see these kids begin to play. There's one girl who like comes up there and who's dressed with a strange looking like beret like hat and adventuring gear. She says, "My name is Lion." And you can hear like some larger gentleman off to the side in that same hat. Roll for intimidation right now.
Look at the DC be. It's a kid.
Yeah, it's low.
A 16.
All right, you're gonna give them an education here. The girl kind of like looks at it and like she gets really, really quiet. And the gentleman with the very similar hat goes up. He says, "Shilgar, my name is Shilgar." She's like, "My name is Shilgar, and I've looked high and low for Roka's tree, but I can't seem to find it." And then you can see like the fat director kind of like moving his hands, and like two kids are pulling like levers off to the side. The trapdoor opens up, and you see like this kid. The thing is that the pulley system has a rope going through the trapdoor, and as it lifts up, it doesn't open the trapdoor. It opens like this. As the boy is raised out, he says, "I am Roka's tree. I see everything that is and everything that will be. What is your question?" And the kid like looks over.
When is the play going to get better?
The director like immediately like looks around, looks behind him. He's like, "Hey, they're children."
Hey, you're a child.
I point my thumb over to Hogan. Yeah, I bet this child can act better than all of them.
Oh,
that child has a beard.
Look, children can have beards.
it's a medical condition. I'm very sensitive about it.
Yeah, he's sensitive.
As you guys are having this, like the kids kind of look at each other and like they begin to like take off their costumes and undo their harness and like go off the stage. He's like, "Wait, where are you going?" He's like, "We don't want to play anymore. We'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Shilgar." And he's like, "Talent. Now that you have ruined my play, is there something I can do for you? More laughs that I can provide?"
Yeah, where's the tree that you were talking about?
It resides in the Carnwood. Why?
Okay,
Where's
specifically.
Specifically, the Carnwood is not a normal forest. You cannot navigate it north by south the way a normal woods would go. The entire place shifts upon it. to get to the... Why are you laughing so hard over there? Are you all right? Okay, great. All right. Is it us or... Okay, good. Charlotte watches this stuff to make sure it all goes, and she had to leave the room for a moment. I thought something had happened. So it's not navigated the way a normal forest would be, typically speaking. You must look for 3 signs and follow them accordingly, keeping them on your right at all times. The first sign is that of a fire that has no fuel. The second is light that has no source. And finally, it is leaves with no branches. Those signals, as long as you keep them to your right, will lead you to Roka's tree and the guardians that protect it.
Tell me more about this, the Guardians.
Guardians are impressive creatures made from the very plant life surrounding the forest. Legend tells that the blood of Vol was instrumental in transferring the life force of an individual from their body upon death into a tree. And then various magics and sacrifices were pushed together to form this tree into a mighty warrior.
So these trees made a treant?
No, not a treant. A wood woad. A guardian for Roka's tree. Set to destroy anyone who has tried to find the tree itself, for it possesses forbidden knowledge.
Why do you know so much about it?
Yeah, then how did you find it?
Roka's tree is an interesting... You'll see when you get there that it's not quite a tree, not in a traditional sense. It existed before the time of Sybaris, Eberron, and that third one I can never remember. Those 3 essentially decided that they needed an impartial judge, someone who could simulate the total causation of their actions impacting infinitum. And so they developed Roka's tree, a creature, an entity that could assess everything about life, simulate it down to its minute fractions, down to the thoughts every individual could have, and come up with a purported answer or future that could occur. Now, the dragons were smart. They gave it no agency, for it is told that if Roka ever becomes strong enough and it takes root, the first thing that it will do once it has taken root and gained power and authority is to kill everyone who did not help it grow. So I do my part. The moment that I came in contact with Roka's tree, I drafted an incredible play with full production funding to be put on every single day to get the word of the tree out there so that the most people would know and that I could save my own life.
You're doing a bang-up job at that.
Well, clearly not everyone enjoys the same thing over and over and over again, and it would not do well to continue to tell the same story without making small deviations, but I only had my own experience to go off of, and so to make sure the play ran every night, I found myself lost for energy to continue to write any further. So,
how would you feel about doing more than just making a play and helping us find it to better your relationship with this tree?
Well, once you know about it, you are under the same curse that I am.
Right.
If you do not help this tree come to its full potential, once it gains its full power, it will destroy you.
Sure.
How would it go about doing that? Another blood sacrifice?
Nothing so crass. In fact, it's going to be it'll be the simplest thing in the world. Once people know that there is a tree that can tell you everything you need to know, that can give you down the entire future down to its minute detail, well, you would treat it as an oracle. If you were to ask it how to become the most profitable man in the world, it would tell you exactly how to do it. And with that, the tree has intrinsic power. It has sway over everyone. It knows the unknowable. And everyone who would seek to have that information would be under its spell, sort of say.
So all we've got to do is find the tree, and then we can ask it anything we want.
Anything you want. It knows everything.
We can finally ask it where babies come from.
Well, that question might be. There are pamphlets I keep for myself and various purposes to
Why are they
answer.
stuck together?
Never mind that. I usually have them while enjoying jam and butter. Now, what is your interest in the tree? You're seeking it out? How divine.
We have been hired to find it.
Well, I wish you good luck on your journey. Remember the 3 signs of it. Fire without fuel, light without source, and leaves with no branches. Yes.
You found it. Is
Yes.
there a better description you can give us than this? Very cryptic. Clearly, you know where this thing is. Why not just come with us to help us find it? I think
He begins like turning through the script pages that he has. He says, "This is my original map of the forest." As you look at it, it makes no sense. It shows you the Carnwood itself, but it also has like lines treaded, and as it goes, it seems to like revert back to the beginning. He says, "The tree itself is not a navigatable icon. It's not a singular area that you can just visit within the forest. The Carnwood is known. You can go to Carnith. You can be on the edge of the wood, but you can only traverse it if you know the signs for it. Otherwise, the trees itself, the forest within, will seek to conceal the Roka's tree from you."
Can I have that map?
I'll trade you for 5 gold. 4 gold. I'm just looking for a meal.
Oh! Pulls out one handful of bacon.
He like takes it. As you look at him, you can kind of look at the shabbiness of his clothes. He probably hasn't bathed pretty recently. The beard is not grown in a trimmed manner. It just kind of grows in patches. He like takes these like. He looks over at you. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
17.
Was it at least cooked this morning?
Yes. It was also eaten this morning. Not that one.
Okay. He like chuckles nervously, and he hands you over the map, enjoying his bacon.
I point over to where the galley was where before. There's a hole. There's 2 troughs full of eggs and bacon just for the taking. It's all you.
You're pointing back towards the Clifftop Adventurers Guild. I'm like, I believe that's for members only. I would.
We can. I will get you in. You'll be fine. Just say you're with us. That's fine. No big deal.
Yes. All right, and I think I will do that, Mr. Hogan.
Eventually, when we walk away, I'd like to kind of quietly go over there, give him 10 gold for your troubles.
So thank you. I very much appreciate that. You guys also know where the Ambassador District is. If you guys aren't talking to Shilgar anymore, you can go ahead and expedite your travel over to the Embassy District to speak to the agent of the Dark Lanterns, Marco.
Off to Marco Darko. Let's go.
Marco? I believe we should.
Somebody sell Wells Fargo.
Arrow's just going to be like, Marco!
Yep.
Marco!
Eventually, as you guys walk into the studded palace that is this branch of secret government, you guys know very little about the Dark Lanterns. There's the King's Swords, the King's Wands, and the King's Shields, which protect the city, fight for the city, and do magical endeavors for the city. The last branch of that is the Dark Lanterns, which are all about espionage, counter-spying, intelligence gathering, what have you. This place is oddly very easy to find. The Dark Lanterns want people to be able to find them very easily because if you go in there, you'll see people working, people at business, and it gives a kind of security to know that they're always able to be seen, even if the actual agents don't hang out there. So as Eros is walking through, going Marco, wherever you can, eventually someone walks up to you, a elderly-looking gentleman, dwarvish, who comes up. He says, "How may I help you?"
Marco.
As you can see, we're looking for a Marco.
Interesting. Very well, I can take you to him. Do you have an appointment, letter of writ, anything? Or is this a social call?
We're from the Adventurers Guild.
Ah, the contract placed out last night has already been picked up, and it seems resolved. Marvelous. Well, let's not waste any more time. Follow me. The Hulk. I looked over at Hogan and I immediately thought Hulk from reading it. Listen to me, brother. You ready to see these 22-inch pythons go toe-to-toe with Rattlekash? Anyway, you guys walk through this entire... That's not going to make any sense to fucking anybody. As you guys walk through the entirety of this structure, you can notice like there are people who are busily moving along, but there's a very much like secretary, like paper trail sort of feel about this entire place. And as you're led into a large, like it looks to be kind of library with about 8 seats and a large table, the dwarf says, "Merely wait here. I will get your Marco for you." And he closes the door. And you can hear a moment passes by, 2 moments. About 5 minutes later, one of the doorways from the bookshelves kind of moves open and reveals a tall man in a purple hooded cloak with fine attire and shirt and pants and trousers and pants and trousers. You can put forward both and wear them at the same time. Belt holding
pants.
And a set of suspenders holding the entire ensemble up. He walks in with a timepiece in his hand, flips it down, puts it in his pocket, and he says, "Hello. I understand that the gentleman who had taken on has moved the assignment to you for. The question is, have you gone and completed your task, or are you just reporting in?"
Well, he seemed he was not up to snuff for the job, so he passed it on to more professionals such as us.
Skipped town pretty quickly.
Yeah, he seemed kind of scared of what appears to be a tree. Why should we be afraid of the tree?
What have you heard about the tree? Tell me. I'm interested.
We've seen kids pretend it's a tree.
And then I've also heard the tree wants to kill everyone if you don't believe in it.
It's an interesting idea. Imagine something that can simulate life down to its minute point, and once it takes root, one of the first things it'll do is destroy those who do not help it grow. It would almost endeavor every single person to do everything in their power to enforce it to grow. Yet, the simulation of all life in Quivere and Eberron in total is incredibly useful. Mr. Roderick, the Dark Lanterns keep an extensive list of notable people of interest throughout different manners of speaking. We are also aware of you, Mr. Eros, by brand, if not reputation.
Have you
and if
tried my ale?
Heard of your beer.
I pull out a flask. I see you've heard of the best. Put it down on the desk.
He picks it up and twists it in a single motion, flicking the bottle cap into a hand and like placing it into a pocket. He takes a long sip from it. He's like, "Although the two of you are known for more heroic exploits, as with Mr. Corn here, good to see you again, is Mr. Hogan here, who is probably the most infamous of you. It is interesting to see the bleeder here in my study."
I've never seen him bleed. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. Mr. Hogan never never bleeds himself. He is known as an enforcer for the Boromar clan, or at least he was some years ago. He got the reputation of the bleeder because he could
smell menstruation blood.
Yes, it's a useful tool. Incredible.
Because his head matches the deep crimson of freshly spilt blood.
Shit, Nolan.
I look over to Hogan. Do you bleed?
Not usually.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense. The name doesn't make sense. What is going on?
He has
On
no blood.
purpose.
No, he causes the bleeding. That's the connection.
I've never even seen him do that. He just kills people. They don't
That's
bleed. They just die.
But you may notice there is blood usually.
No, I've never. They just nope. It's gone.
Well, if somehow they survive the first hit, usually there's some bleeding involved.
I've never seen somebody survive the first hit.
And they don't always pay me to kill them. Sometimes we do want them to just bleed. It's part of the business.
If we want them to just bleed, we don't talk. We don't have you do it, Hogan.
Marco places the beer bottle to his forehead as though he's getting an onset of a headache. Looks over to Corn. He says, "Corn, you keep very strange company. I think I preferred your other crew to them."
Well, Corin looks at Eros and says, "This is friendship."
You've met Babushka.
Oh, the crossovers. That's an entirely different planet too. Marco simply puts, he says, "Well, if I'm not mistaken, the four of you to be paid. Were you able to find out where Roka's tree currently resides?"
We have a couple things here and there about where to go, but not yet. Hopefully you have more information for us, which is why we came here.
Information is my life, good sir. Gathering it, disseminating it, interpreting it, everything about what you are going to do is almost entirely hearsay or myth. Shilgar is the one exception. He has seen the tree. He's behold it. He understands how important his discovery is, but is running off of the agenda of the tree itself. I would use it for a different purpose. We are facing down the barrel of a war. The last war that hit Corvair went on for 100 years. Incalculable lives lost. It was very, very hard time for many people. Although House Deneath, I understand, made a very sizable profit from assisting with war efforts. So maybe not everyone suffered. But I think that we can all agree that war is the greatest evil currently standing over us. We have an opportunity to end the war before it begins. Specifically, there is an artificer by the name of Many Moosegraven. We've been tracking for some time. And unfortunately, she has developed a device with the capabilities of wiping entire towns off the map, possibly even cities. We understand that someone from House Lyrander is being coerced into piloting a ship where this machine has been attached onto. We have a weapon that is pointing down at our entire country. We are effectively held hostage by this single ship. We have no idea where it is. But there is one person who certainly knows. The tree. Roka's tree can tell us exactly how to find and apprehend Many Moosegraven. And if we accomplish that, we prevent a war from happening between Zelargo, Valinor, Thrain, and we prevent certain other entities from gaining power from the conflict.
What else do you know about that ship?
The ship?
Yes, that ship.
Oh. Well, I happen to know that it is an airship, and by that proxy is absolutely being piloted by a Lyrander house member, though the exact person we cannot identify. We have taken notice of a number of missing captains, and it could be any one of them. But Mr. Mitka, I understand where your line of questioning is going. I do believe it is your adopted father.
That's why I want to know, what else do you know about it? Because if there's anybody who could find it, it would be me.
Only that he does not know exactly where. He does not know the gravity of what is occurring. I do not believe that he is acting with any information, and he is currently cloaked by a field of energy that is preventing us from being able to see his exact position, and in fact, to even send messages out to him. The
How
best
do you
we
know
can,
the ships exist then?
we're able to scry on him. Many of the other members of the list of missing Lyrander household members are. It is an easy thing to scry on them. It is a far harder task to discern where a person is just from a scrying spell. But we have identified him with unscrupulous characters, and from the tone of conversation, know that he is not guilty for his actions and is being forced to pilot the ship. I believe that there is someone held by the cult of the dragon below, someone very dear to him, whose life is being threatened. I don't believe that Captain Mitka understands how very dangerous it is that he is moving the ship into a position where it could possibly do the most damage.
Who is in charge? Who do you think is in charge of the one with the weapon? You said Cult of the Dragon. Is that who's in charge of the weapon?
We believe so. We do not have a name for it, as the Cult of the Dragon below interprets through the will of a demonic overlord by the name of Rak'Tolkesh. Rak'Tolkesh does not pick a single leader. He speaks through madness to a specific person and has them work in a commune to show and share their madness until they're all working as a singular group, almost like a hive mind. Rak'Tolkesh is the puppeteer, but there is not another tier between him and his followers. He pulls the strings and they move.
And above the table, Rak'Tolkesh is the one of the dragons that created Everon or something. Or...
No, Rak'Tolkesh is the demonic overlord. He's one of the Lords of Dust. He's a fiend who ran the entire country before he was imprisoned deep below the surface.
Got it. Okay. So do you think they're trying to free Rak'Tolkesh with what they're doing with this weapon, or?
Yes, I believe that his power is derived from acts of war. The stronger a war is, the greater the chance is that Rak'Tolkesh can escape his bonds. If a war breaks out, it will lead to him being able to break free of his bonds and to fully throw everyone under his control if they are currently fighting amongst each other.
Okay. So you're saying if we can get to this tree and find out where the ship is, we can prevent this whole war, therefore preventing Rak'Tolkesh from being freed.
Indeed. And Roka's tree is entirely singular. It would know exactly the best route in order to do so. And not just the location, but in fact, the method in which we can prevent the greatest loss of life.
Well, I just have this tingling feeling that the tree isn't going to want, it's not going to help us if we don't help it somehow. And now this tree was designed, right? It was built by somebody?
It was created by the progenitor dragons, as the story goes, but I suppose you could get the full history from Roka's tree itself. It's named after an adventurer who found it on accident and proceeded to tell everyone about it. I believe that's probably how Shilgar found Roka's tree. Its exact name, its exact origin, everything about it is suspect, but it can feasibly simulate everything about our past, our future, everything that will occur.
I know what you should ask it, Roderick. You ask it, who is your daddy and what does he do?
First, I would like to just get to know you.
This fucking team.
The world is doomed.
New headline.
Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is how are we supposed to get away from the tree once it finds out that we're not going to help it? Are we just supposed to slog our way through its guardians and then leave? Because it
is not it is not deceived. If it knows in your heart, if it knows that in your hearts you will not assist it, then it knows that in perpetuity. He knows exactly what we are going to do next. He knows exactly what will happen if you leave that forest. But the problem with it isn't actually getting to Roka's tree. It is stationary and as such has not taken root, which is some kind of event in which it gains a massive amount of power. Roka's tree is stationary, and it currently cannot be destroyed, but it cannot be moved. It indeed cannot even harm another individual except with its own information. The issue is going to be the Guardians. A long time ago, Guardians were set up to protect Roka's tree. Well, not protect, but protect other people from Roka's tree. They reasoned that the entirety of all of human life can be, it's like going to a plague ship. It is, once a person has certain information, they will work in the way that Roka has determined their own mind will work. You understand? It understands you better than you understand yourself. So it knows exactly what to say in order to provoke you to a certain action. It's like taking a hammer to a knee. The reaction will be so singular, all it needs to do is say the right thing to you, and it already knows that. And once that happens, a person with this information leaving the garden, that would be an issue. And so followers of the Blood of Vol made great sacrifices to create guardians that would prevent anyone from ever finding the tree, or if they did, to eliminate them before they got into contact with them.
I mean, we can always just say we're going to water it.
Bumbling guy with the play, we're to believe that somehow he's defeated all of these guardians, spoke to the tree, and was left to walk away from it?
He used the children. That's the secret.
I think he probably just found a different tree and got like high or something.
A lot of mushrooms out there in the forest.
To do that.
He does not look it, but Shilgar was once a pretty formidable bard. It's possible that he talked his way out of being killed by the guardians themselves, or found another way around them. The exact proponents are known in his play, and to be honest, it is quite a dry production. I've not watched it all the way through. That's why I sent for other people to find out what happened.
You watched it?
No, not at all. It's awful. I could not stand the first few minutes. I read the reviews before I go see anything.
There were reviews?
Who took their time to review that?
The Sharn Inquisitive. Here, he's like, hang on a second, and he goes ahead and he throws out like a 2-year-old paper onto like in front of you. He's like, we have records on it. Take a look. The reviews are
any pictures?
There are no pictures now.
I'll draw pictures for you, Hogan. I'll just I'll just grab. And Eros grabs a piece of paper and starts reading it quietly and starts like drawing pictures for Hogan on a blank piece of paper.
But
if we do find this tree and we have to get away from it, I think that our only option is to write our own opera. And I think Hogan is probably the best dancer and singer out of all of us. So obviously, he's going to have to be the star of it.
May want me to direct. I'm good at singing, but I'm better at getting other people to sing. So
he's a very persuasive man.
There's a third option. Korn, you are a Kalashtar. Roderick, you're a human. Eros, well, we are the same race. And Mr. Hogan, you are a halfling. I believe you would have the greatest risk, as you are the only one who would have to wait the longest to outlast Roka's tree. If the story is to be understood, Roka's tree has existed for thousands of years. All you have to do is make it to the end of your lives without it taking root.
Yeah.
Well, knowing our luck.
Or you tell everyone about it, everyone you come into contact, that Roka's tree exists and that it needs to take root.
So we can water it. I'll just bring a little cup of water for it to water it.
Marco kind of moves over and he like squeezes your shoulder. He's like, I think that would be perfect. So, if you're going to endeavor upon this, I would like to make sure that it is clear what you're going to get yourselves into and what the reward would be for such an endeavor. First and foremost, the standard fee of 450 gold pieces will be issued out to you. I will add that up to 500 a piece for the successful completion and assertion of the information we are looking for.
Which is?
find Many Moose Graben, Mr. Corn. Find where she is and find out what the best route to destroy her machine and stop the war from occurring.
Can I roll a history check? Because above the table, I know we've heard that name before. I don't remember if we actually met the character somewhere. I can't remember if it was in a previous.
No, she was. Let's see here. According to my notes, she took the gnome that we destroyed prisoner back in a couple episodes back.
Yes. When you guys went to Jerome.
Bloodbath, yeah.
She took him. She grabbed him. What was it?
Many Moose Graben was a prisoner before the Cult of the Dragon Below basically murdered everyone in that keep in order to get them back, and then you fought and killed that priest.
Okay.
You yourselves have not met Many Moose Graben yet.
Eros will try to do a history check just to see through the long line of artificers if he recalls the name.
Go ahead and make a history check.
16. You know nothing.
You actually do know Many Moose Graben by reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Many Moose Graben's foremost contribution to magical sciences is an engine that can power a sky barge. Rudimentary, but it basically works by bouncing energy off of itself to create even greater energy off of that, and using the excess to lift sky barges into the air. Not strong enough to do to an airship, although that was always the hope. But it was impressive technology.
Okay. I look over to the group. I feel like there's a lot of story we didn't get out of the old crazy director guy. I feel like
Probably.
maybe we should go. Well, he's going to go eat our trough food, so I think we can try to go find him and maybe get more of the story out of him. He seemed very happy to tell us everything he knew, but not everything he knew.
Yeah, let's break his legs.
I think
I
our
mean,
generosity.
we could always give him new ones. That's fine.
Give him new legs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. You guys are heading back to, you're going to the Adventurers Guild?
I like it.
If that's where he is, yeah.
Okay. The four of you return back to the Clifftops Adventurers Guild, and you see that Shilgar is stopped before a couple of other members who said, "Sorry, man, if you don't have the pass, you're not coming in here." That's the long and short of it. I've told you every way that's polite. I'll start telling you the ones that are impolite next. And Shilgar's like, fine, I will leave. There's no appreciation for thespians anymore.
I'm going to walk up behind Shilgar and kind of turn him back towards the walkway. He's with us, and I flash the little badge and just kind of walk in without the guy really saying anything.
While we're walking in, I'm going to pat him on the back and say, "I appreciate lesbians."
That's refinement of the joke I wanted to make. It's still good.
As we're walking over to get him a plate of food and all that, and I go, "Shilgar, tell us more about your play. I want to know your story."
You're now friendly.
I heard of a tree, as he's scarfing down sandwiches. I heard of a tree that could tell any man anything they will ever desire to know. An old legend. An adventurer by the name of Roka had discovered this singular entity. It is a being with red roots that spring from a central conflux, but yet the roots do not touch into the soil, as it has not taken root.
Yes.
I entered into the forest and found it to be a strange place. Constant shuffling, as though the woods itself are taking regard and measure of you. The closer that you get, the more you are assessed by Roka's ability. It knows it always, but it freshens up on recent memories of you and simulates your entire life beginning to end, so it understands exactly what to say to you. I came across 3 symbols. The fire with no fuel underneath it, the light with no source, and the tree with leaves but no branches. Keeping right to all of them and never looking behind myself, I find myself at the court of Roka and the two guardians standing, moving about the trees. They told me that they had to kill me, that if I were to come in contact with the tree itself, that I must certainly die, lest I take the information out into the world and spread it like a disease. I bartered with them. I said, please, please do not harm me. I'm but a simple bard. I imagined that off the spot, I decided to sing to them. And they were so moved by the performance that they omitted only my life, reasoning that a single person, I persuaded them, could not do that great a damage. And then I behold Roka itself, the tree itself.
Uh-huh.
It's not an experience I can put into words. Everything I wanted to say to it already knew that I was going to say. It said things that hit the deepest parts of me, things that I worried about for years but never even knew myself. It spoke to me of my future, of my loved ones, and told me how I was to become the greatest bard that had ever existed. Told me exactly the steps that I would take. And it promised me that if I did them exactly, I would be known throughout the world.
And here you sit eating our scraps. Yeah, that's going great, hasn't it, pal?
Well, I didn't account to know if the tree was a liar or not. I don't know what happened. I tried to follow everything the best to my ability. Maybe I was never meant to be it, and it was only humoring me. Maybe it did tell me the right way, but I interpreted its meanings incorrectly.
What did it tell you?
It told me to go back to Sharn and to tell the story of Roka's tree, and that everyone would know my name. Maybe that was it.
Here knows your name, and I show him the little review that I had that we picked up from Marco.
Yes, I suppose when I dreamed of a life of fame, I did imagine that infamy is another way for other people to know your name. There are a few who do not know my tale, and perhaps that is its own reward for it. And yet I continue to put it on, thinking that one day my luck shall change, that consistency is the key, that if I adhere to the path, I will self-actualize into the person I was meant to be.
How did you persuade the Guardians to let you touch this tree? Whatever you did with it, I don't know.
I spoke to them. I became their friends. I reached out to them. I'm very persuasive when it comes down to it. At least I was back in my heyday. I charmed them. I was inspired. And I think I just moved the human part of them that remained and convinced them to allow me to make my way past. I was extremely lucky.
Do you think you can give a little of that for us? Maybe inspire our group with your show, Song and Dance, maybe?
I believe the play that I put on for you before was not moving in the slightest. I can inspire each of you, but it would only last maybe for 10 minutes. Inspiration is fleeting against a dark, dark world.
Well, and with that attitude, sure.
Yeah, jeez.
No wonder you hire kids.
The children are really lacking as far as their talent goes, but they are exceptional. They're children. They wish to be entertained, and I had to work with what I could. Most of them are orphans or are part of poorer communities.
So why don't you come with us and kind of show us the way?
You do that.
I'm sure the tree could be would like to hear of what you've done to keep up your side of the bargain.
True.
Yeah. And then you can ask it why it hasn't held up.
Maybe the tree could give you some more insight into what you should or could have done differently.
True. Has
looks
anyone ever gone back to the tree? This would be a first.
Corin and Roderick, he kind of looks over at you and then to Eros and then over at Hogan, shakes his head and looks back to the three of you and says, "You're right. I need to know where I went wrong. I need to know why my destiny did not manifest in the way that I was promised it would. I'm deserving of answers. I will take you to Roka's tree. I will find out where I went wrong."
Yeah, let's get you dressed up a bit before that.
Yeah,
Showing the
we'll
way
get
I'm
a to-go
dressed.
bag.
Oh, that would be splendid.
Just pour it all in the backpack. It's fine. You know what? I'll deal with the consequences.
Corin does have the bag of holding still, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not. No. You don't put that at my feet. I'm not putting 7 days rations of bacon into my bag of holding.
Everything's so greasy in there.
I've seen Eros. I know what he can do. I'm not getting all of that bacon grease all over my delightful things in my bag of holding.
Grease is a useful tool. It's very useful against in battle. Trust me.
This is so slippery. Why can't we hold on to him?
It could be. I'm nervous that if you eat as much bacon as you did again this morning, you'll throw us into my bag of holding, and then I'll have limitless bag of vomit. And
it's called poison. Okay, you use it as poison. You throw it on people. They feel disgusting. It's great. It works amazing. It's a good weapon. All right.
Feel disgusting too if we do that.
Yeah.
And you're implying I haven't already vomited in your bag.
This is true. You don't know what we've been doing to that bag.
And at that, we're going to go ahead and take our break.
I was going to say stealth check. Throw some bacon in there.
I've got 15 on my end here, 17 on my end. So we'll be back at 5:32.
Just keep a closer eye on this bag of holding for the next foreseeable future.
You see Eros
Okay.
slowly pushing in bacon into the bag. Pulling it back.
Think about it.
What time? Sorry.
32 is what I'm going to go ahead and put on here. And we will be back then. Mute your mics, mute your computers.
All right.
Mike. It's not Michael, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it is, but I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Whatever works.
Hey, it's Adam.
Yeah.
Adam, what did you
Yeah,
get
that was
for a
a-
snack?
A salad.
Well, that's what happened later. So I'm stocking up on some of this. Get my protein.
And find my floss.
Wow, everyone's back all at once. Excellent.
Or have we been here this entire time?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I've missed you guys for 2 weeks. I didn't want to miss you guys again for another 20 minutes. I was here the entire time waiting, hoping everyone would come back.
We can never leave you.
I suffer from a severe object permanence disorder, and if I can't see you, then you cease to exist, and I can't have that happen again.
Not only that, he also has abandonment issues.
That's what I thought he was going to say. I was worried.
Wow. Nolan, buddy,
I was going to need to give him a hug.
I wish I could.
6 feet, please.
I got long arms. Bring him in.
You're a halfling, sir. You're a halfling. You do not have long arms.
I mean,
There's
for a
only one
halfling,
long thing on you.
All those arms I got.
Guys, come on, please. Roll the hug.
his hair.
His hair. I forgot about the hair. Okay. You guys have agreed to have Shilgar go with you into the forest. And so you guys are heading to the Carnwood, which is north, some probably, honestly, probably like a 5-day journey by lightning rail. But because this is after hours and transit is sometimes fun and we can do cool little train heist episodes, check out episode, try whatever it is, just put the number here. I don't know. I forget which one it is, but we did like a train heist and it was great. We're going to go ahead and skip right into the outskirts of the Carnwood. Is there anything that you want to provision yourselves up on before we get to that point, though? This is the last sale point, let's say.
I got my grease.
Okay.
How much are health potions?
Ordinarily,
You could have just made a number up, you know.
I could have, but they have specific prices, which is
50 gold.
thank you.
I will take 6 of them.
6 healing potions? Jeez.
Yes. Considering you pretty much TKO'd me in the first game. So
This is true. This is true. This has happened almost every single game.
Guys,
You are a good sir.
we have
I will also
perfected
purchase 5 potions.
11.
That Adam guy's onto something.
Guys, you are far too worried that I'm going to kill you. When have I killed anyone here, though?
You've had to Deus Machina several times.
One time, and
Not
that
for
was
lack of trying.
There was Eros getting captured the first time.
that monk did fuck your shit up pretty good. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
There was the 2 hobgoblins.
Oh yeah, that was not live. To be fair, that doesn't count.
Oh, it counts to me. It counts to me.
I don't know how many times I've almost killed Adam in a game, but for whatever reason, and what's actually hilarious is that no matter how many times I beat him down to 0 hit points, God will not give him death.
I can do this all day.
You better check those dice he's using for those saving throws.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure he would prefer to die. And in fact, the one time that he did die, it was because of a time travel, and it was legit. It was like he basically said, "I want to go back to my own time and die as an old man, happy in my bed."
No,
I'm like,
I want to go back in time and stop myself from being killed the first time.
accurate.
And then you ended up killing yourself.
He did become his own father. That is true.
Who does?
Wait a second.
We're going to take advice here from Mr. I'm my own grandpa. Anyway, you guys are on the edge of the Carnwood. Shilgar went ahead and he's gotten new clothing since then, which will probably inevitably become dirtied by the travel into the forest. He looks about. He says, "You know, I do want to do this, but I don't. I certainly have second thoughts entering into this forest. It's
Nothing
strange.
ventured, nothing gained, and I push him into the forest.
Ah! You guys begin to walk along this underbrush of just overgrown tree trunks. There is no set road in the Carnwood. There's not like a straight line that enters from one area and leads to the other. It is a fully populated wood, and it is hard walking. Pardon me, sorry. As you guys are moving through this area, you can feel as though the trees themselves almost bend to kind of like look down on you guys, almost as though they're trying to regard you in some form. As you guys are moving through here, I'd like everyone to make a perception. Well, I would like to get everyone's passive perception. That'll be an easier way to do it. Unless anyone wants to look for something, we'll go ahead and do it this way. Roderick, what's your passive perception?
17.
Bullshit, it is?
Christ.
Holy fuck. That's a
Yep.
lot of passive wisdom.
Playing a
Yes.
rogue.
Oh,
isn't he?
I put my proficiency into perception.
That's a smart way to go about doing that. You know me too well. You know that all I ask for is perception checks. Corin, what's your passive perception?
12.
Okay. Eros.
11.
Okay.
Not the worst.
Hogan, are we following this trend?
Passive perception, just the default value that you roll with, or
He's
Passive
like,
perception,
my
you
character
take
sheet
10
said, yes.
plus whatever your perception modifier is.
I thought I was doing something wrong. Like 2.
No. It's 10
that'd be
plus whatever.
12.
12. Okay. So by some weird happenstance, Eros happens to be the least observant party member in the group, which is odd. As you guys enter in here, and I suppose I should have one for our bard. That'll work. Okay. As you guys move about here, each of you can kind of hear different sounds of plant life, or not plant life, excuse me, animal life. There seems to be very far off, you can hear like the snorting of like large boars moving throughout. Twice, Eros encounters a snake, a large boa constrictor just kind of chilling out on a tree, and having like moved around in a separate area, discovers that same boa constrictor again, leading you guys to believe that this area really is kind of unusual, as though you guys have been heading in one direction the entire time, but you've been moving in a circle.
You did say keep everything to the right, Bard?
Mostly that when we see one of the three symbols, we are to keep that on our right. The first time I encountered it, I was by myself. I do not know where to find it this time, or what can spur it on. Well, let's see here. Perhaps it's said that Roka, when he first came here, required the fire to light his way in the dark, but he could not use any of the trees because he was a druid. He didn't believe in breaking down any of the oak to create a fire. So he merely produced a flame in his hand, and that became the fire with no fuel. Is anyone similarly capable of such feats?
I just look over to look dead.
No.
I look Shulgar dead in the eye. You mean to tell me you just needed to summon fire and keep it to the right-hand side? You made it seem like very cryptic, and all I had to do was this, and I used Flaming Sphere.
Holy shit, wait, are you using Flaming Sphere?
It's 5 feet.
Okay. You produce Flaming Sphere within 5 feet of you, and you place to the right, you can just kind of see it radiating with this immense of heat that's felt by everyone in the party. He says, that would work, yes. All we must now do is ensure that it stays to the right of us. How long can you continue to do that?
I can hold it for a good minute.
Okay.
I'll just carry it above my hand to the right of me.
Okay. As you guys are moving along, as it reaches the end of that minute, the flaming sphere does not go out. and instead changes color from an orange to a white, and it begins to coalesce into a larger sphere, one that has a small little epicenter of a black, almost pupil inside of it.
Bard, what's this? Looks like a giant eyeball.
The last time that I encountered this, I was shooken. I kept it to the right of me at all times, but it would proceed to follow me along. It only ceased to follow me after I had fallen asleep.
So don't sleep.
Yes, I fear that might be one such method in which we can supplant this. We need to find a light with no source as well, but I do not believe this can be the same. There's also the tree with leaves but no branches.
Well, that's just finding a stick.
More complex than that. The next time that Roka moved through the forest, he encountered that he would notice that the tree line would wrap around the heads and it would obscure the sky. So he produced he produced a light in his hand and merely placed it upon one of the trees nearby him and lit his way to the next area of the forest. They're ancient stories. It seems like almost anything would work, but it was specifically, it could not be fire. It had to be light.
How did you do this?
I had a very, very well-paid wizard who died by the Guardians when I came in here the first time.
Okay, you could have said that. That would have changed a whole lot of things.
Yes, I realize that.
I'm just going to have you hold this. And I pass him over the flaming sphere. It's just hovered above your head to the right side. And then I just grab him and pick him up, put him to the right of us.
It's like, very well. As you guys are moving through, you can see the forest is taking on a different kind of ecology. The trees themselves begin to change a different color. Some turn less of a brownish bark color and more towards like an ash or a blackened tree, almost as though it's been burned. Others begin to show that there are fruit on there, very large, lusciously exotic-looking fruit. The entire place seems to take on a different color almost. There are wraps of vines that are all around that continue to just move in certain of their own agency, with plants that emerge that look very, very strange. Some of them appear as though they sparkle as though they are filled with diamonds. Others look like they are so fat with the fruit on their vines that they are constantly being plunged downwards in uncomfortable angles, straining to keep onto the trees that they're on. You also hear, Roderick, sound of buzzing. Very low grade, off to probably about your northeast. As you look, do you want to pursue this, or do you want to just keep on moving forward through the forest?
Does my 17 passive perception do anything?
It allows you to notice.
By the way, I found some of that forest and I'm eating it. Oh.
He's getting rid of the leaves for us. That's how it's done.
Is there any branches in that salad?
It's very tough.
Do you want to head towards this buzzing, or do you want to go? You don't have to take on anything that you see in here, but there are fruits, there are plants, there's the sound of buzzing.
I got a 26 for perception.
Oh, you're just looking into what it is? Tell me what you want.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what to do.
I'll stare into the beehive.
It looks to be a large purple, almost hive.
People eater?
Shaped like a humanoid. It looks as though someone made a beehive out of a corpse, and it bloated to this purplish color. you can see out of it these red wasps that begin to crawl in and out, just kind of.
I'm gonna ask our bard friend if he encountered anything like this on his first playthrough.
When I came here, my trials were significantly different. I never came across whatever that is. It's possible.
Trials. What trials?
Well,
It seems like we're learning
What else
more and
aren't
more.
What else
as
aren't you
talk to
telling us, Bard?
Just let you right in because you're a really good talker.
What else wasn't in your play? Is this because the kids suck?
can we isolate just that audio and just have it play just whenever we need to on a soundboard? This entire place is meant to attest to see if you can even get to Roka. The idea is to be resourceful and to use what you have around you and to play into the nature of the forest. Things that are vulnerable to fire usually give way. So maybe we throw the fireball, and he kind of like shows this thing. He's like, at the beehive. I don't know.
Okay, you do that.
You do that. You're holding it.
You control the flame.
Sure, but you're holding it. I'll just do it when you. I'll guess off your hands. If you decide to push it, I'll tell it where to go. But you're doing it.
Make a persuasion check.
I love that we're strong arming this poor guy.
12.
12. Okay. He leans it back, and he's going to go ahead and attempt to throw. He rolled a 6. He's a bard.
I mean,
He tosses it.
I'm the one controlling it, though.
Oh, if you're sending it over to the beehive, then as soon as it impacts with it, the entire thing is lit ablaze with this white light as it begins to very quickly, almost unnaturally quickly, spread down the entirety of this tree. The entire thing becomes ablazed, and you can see that everything begins to burn within it, even the wasps that are inside. As they catch fire, they begin to swarm towards all of you guys and try to sting at you. What do you guys want to do?
I'd like to shout, "Oh God, bees!"
I second that.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm just kind of running back.
Okay.
If you guys grab the bard and just yell, "Play music!" and as I carry the bard on my back and just have him play his music while I'm running.
Okay, he'll make a performance check. Everyone who's running away, go ahead and make a dexterity check.
Dexterity save or just a dex check?
Just a dex check. You can use
11.
acrobatics if you'd like.
Oh, okay. 14.
19 plus 1.
20.
14.
12.
12.
13.
Okay. Everyone is able to move through the forest, jumping over these large trunks, evading the bees that are currently on fire as they begin to move throughout the forest in like this large mass. You can see the corpses of these bees, these wasps, just falling out from the cloud bit by bit as the fire extinguishes them finally, just leaving a trail of dead in their wake. As it finally reaches as you guys are moving around, I'd like everyone to make a stealth check to see if you can hide from bees.
Oh dear.
God damn it. 7.
You said stealth?
27.
Yeah, that's a stealth.
Yeah,
27
for me.
Alrighty.
I got a 7.
30-20.
Okay.
I want to do the classic cartoon thing where I've got like a reed and I'm underwater breathing through it.
I will allow that. Yes. So to the fabulous Baker boys, Eros and Corin, you guys are both going to take 2 points of piercing damage and 8 points of fire damage.
Can I use the man as a shield?
No, he's taking the same damage as you.
So 10 total.
Yeah, 10 total.
Okay.
Eventually, they begin to subside, and Roderick and Hogan are just find a little pond and are able to go in, grab reeds, break them off, and like look under. And you guys under this murky water kind of look at each other's eyes like.
I like to walk over there and put my thumbs over both of them.
Time passes, and then
I'm gonna drink 2 potions.
Okay. You may go ahead and do so.
Okay.
Your airway has been cut off. I imagine that both you, Roderick, and you, Hogan, are going to. I keep on wanting to say Darth. You, Hogan, want to emerge from the water.
I'm feeling better.
Good. I'm glad.
Corin's face is a little puffy, a little itchy. Bees, man. Had to be bees.
Bees, man.
Not the bees. No, not the bees.
You know what this situation needs? Large amount of
Nicolas Cage.
bees. Also that.
Every situation needs Nicolas Cage.
As
situation.
as Shilgar begins to like rub ointment on himself, he says, "Well, that was interesting. It's getting closer to nighttime. Should we place up a camp of some sort?"
Yeah.
How long did it take you to find the tree? Did you set up a camp?
Yes, I did. I did sleep one night.
Oh,
You said don't sleep.
I said don't sleep while the fire was still lit. And we threw the fire at bees, which stung and burned me. We lit the bees on fire, and you told me to throw that shit at them.
It was your idea. We didn't have to light the bees on fire. You assumed we had to.
I was spitballing.
ugh.
You've been here. We're taking your word for it.
Does anything about this place seem natural? Look, and he goes over to some of the bark and like rips it off, and you can see underneath of it, you can see just this black, voidless substance with what looks to be like stars underneath. He says, "Does this look normal? Does this any of this feel normal to you? Have you
Is that a
realized that
light
all
without a
this?"
source?
Huh?
Is that a light without a source?
Oh no!
Pointing at
It's-
the star.
It is a black void with like it looks like little stars within them. It says, "No, it wouldn't look like this. This is just I don't know what this is." And he like
I meant
places-
like you said stars, so I assume we can see
Yeah.
little like starlights.
yeah,
so I was
like little embers. It looks like a reflective material that produces light within this black icky void.
Does that produce? So you. All right. Maybe it's in the trees.
Well, you want to just start cutting them down, seeing if we can
The
find
files
light.
are in the computer.
I mean, I'm gonna try to open the tree a little more to see, because if it's open, just to see if there is now in that particular tree.
How are you going to open it?
Just what he did, rip more bark off.
Sure. I'll go ahead and say athletics check for you to rip it off.
18.
18.
Nice.
You're able to peel back more of this bark, and you can see that it does surround the interior of this tree. It looks like as though it looks like you're staring at the night sky when you look at the bark of this tree underneath the actual, or like I don't know what it's called underneath the bark of a tree, the actual tree, whatever. It looks like the night sky.
I look at everybody. I don't know where the source is. This looks like a light without a source.
Yeah, let us see the damn tree now.
So, I mean, if this is true, then we just keep this to our right. It didn't look like this when I last came through here.
You also said you've never seen bees before.
Perhaps it is. This is a different interpretation, and yes, we could probably just keep this to our right and move forward. It is getting late, though. Are you sure you don't want to sleep? I have no problem continuing. I've never been here in the dark.
You afraid of the dark?
Lots of people are afraid of things that are in the dark. I realize I know none of your names. I went with you and traveled that entire train ride for 4 days and never learned any of your names.
As
Kinda
does
on you,
a
buddy.
bard. Yeah.
Stranger, buddy.
You seem to be letting yourself down a lot, Bard. There's a lot of things you haven't done. A lot of things you haven't told us.
Listen, I I saw an opportunity for 4 very well-equipped people to walk me back into the source of what was the single greatest significant discovery of my life.
And you immediately threw fire at bees. Why did we bring you?
For my expertise, because with
Your
me,
expertise.
You don't have very much expertise if you can't tell us how to get there.
That's
A
fair.
cryptic message about fire, and all you had to tell me was, "Hey, you know how to cast fire?" Yeah, that could have been way easy. Yeah, I can cast fire, and I do it again.
You do so again. He like takes his hat in his hand. He's like, "Listen, it was a very long time ago. This place doesn't work by a regular map-like structure. It's like a labyrinth. It's hard to determine where any one thing is. Here's what I know. The source, the light without source, is usually covered in a place of almost total darkness. I was able to find that in the daytime because it stood out. But in the dark, if that's the second thing that we're looking for, it's going to be harder to find because everything is shrouded in darkness. In direct daylight, you can find it because it looks like a formless void surrounding a tree line.
As I like point to the tree again. I don't know. This looks like a tree line.
Right, that's my point. The trees all have this though, and he goes up to a separate tree, like takes out a knife and kind of like pries off a bit of it, and shows like on a separate tree that it's there as well. It's like, if that's the case, if this is the link to it, if this is the light without source,
Yes.
Go on.
then we'd have to keep all the trees to our right because they're all lit up like this. Either that's what we have to do, or this is not what we're looking for.
Is it really all the trees, or does it look like it may be a certain breed of tree? And I
What
can
was
do like a
your
survival
light
check.
without a source?
Like I said, it was in a grove. It was completely pitch black, but there was a single light in the center of it. Once I found it, I kept it to my right and continued moving along the path.
Fine.
Make an investigation check, Roderick.
Uh, 19.
19. From what you can tell, almost every tree has this black sap kind of oozing from it now that you're this far in.
Okay.
So our options are this. We can either try to look for it in the daytime, which will be a black void surrounded in a grove, or we can look for it at the nighttime, which would be a single piercing light.
Well, before we sleep, you said it potentially could be the trial, which is the bees. We should go back and see what the bees were, since they're all dead.
We could easily follow them back if you wish.
Yeah, let's do that and see if
Let's
the
do
corpse
that.
they were coming out of has any clues.
Maybe it's your wizard friend.
Oh, maybe.
I sincerely hope not.
This would be your fault.
Go ahead. Someone's going to need to lead a survival check to get back to that beehive. Everyone looks at stats.
I got a 16 for survival.
Okay. With a 16, you can easily make your way back to the site of where the bees came from. The tree itself is wilted down as though it is like spinning in on itself. And you can see the beehive itself is now this black and crisp.
Investigate the hive.
Go for it.
I'll help them with it.
I got an 18.
18. Okay. As you are looking at the corpse of this thing, you can realize that like there are bones that are underneath, and as you kind of like brush apart part of the hive, you can see the skeleton exposed, and it begin to kind of just move on its own. Not in any of like a threatening way. It looks like it's trying to like get out of the hive.
The skeleton is?
Yeah.
I will start trying to pull pieces of hive off it, see if that helps.
Ripping apart this surrounding of hive mesh, you can begin to see that there are these red roots that are entangled throughout the entirety of the skeleton. in fact, its very heart has this kind of red grove, this red fruit in the center of it. As you break free of it, it begins to like slowly just kind of stand up. It looks at each of you. Looks over.
He did it. I point at the bard. He did it.
He stands and he says, he like looks around at the ground and he like points to a spot that's next to Corin. It looks like a small little plant growing out next to your boot.
I think he wants to eat it.
Give him the fruit.
I'll look down at the plant and pick it.
Okay, you grab it up. It looks like it's a strange looking fruit. It's like an apple, but has a line in the center of it that's bumpy like an avocado with a single like blossom coming from the top of it.
I'm gonna hand it to him.
The skeleton like picks this thing up and like begins to place it against its neck and squeeze into it. You can see the red dribbling orangish juice from the fruit kind of go down its rib cage and begin to grow onto the neck of this thing, resulting in like what looks to be a rudimentary voice box. And he says, "Ow.
Indeed.
You lit me on fire, you useless bard." Silgar says, "I was an imbecile then, and an imbecile now."
It is the wizard.
Friend.
Oh.
Yes. I am Tor. I was a wizard that led this imbecile into this area. He kind of like proceeds to swallow with no throat and to try and gasp for breaths with no lungs. We found the tree of Roka, and when it proposed its ultimatum, I denied it, and so it used its limited power to torture me endlessly. And now I may not leave.
What was your ultimatum?
Roka's tree has limited power given to it by those who is visited upon it. To take root, the tree must have people willing to share information about it to others, increasing its chance of people finding it and developing their own destinies surrounded by the tree, furthering its roots. When I've discovered how dangerous the tree was, I denied that we should ever be here and leave it quickly and never to speak again. Silgar decided to make a play about it. And as I was trying to leave with my life, the very ground opened up and swallowed me. I was eaten by the insects and worms and the dirt until I could feel no more flesh. And then the insects made my body a husk where they lived. If you have any humanity, you will kill this man.
I mean, we've thought about it.
Oh, thank God I'm not the only one.
Silgar's like, wait, please, I've taken you to the forest. I've given you everything that you've needed. Everything that you asked for, I gave. Everything
you didn't give us anything. You actually almost killed your friend. Again.
Yeah.
Look at you. Telling us to throw fire at him? What is wrong with you?
Psycho.
Worse than this gnome that we know that poops his pants.
Call back. He says, were I capable to fireball you, I would burn every inch of your rotten flesh and your corrupted black heart. The tree is not to be meddled with. You should all leave while you can.
Why couldn't you just simply say, hey, there's a tree in a forest somewhere that has a bunch of knowledge? You were technically talking about the tree. You could have easily just shared that much.
It became a matter of understanding what that action would lead to. If I told one person about it, that person could tell another, or potentially more. I could no longer control the spread of information. Once that had happened, the tree would become stronger based off of those who know it. The more people know about it, the stronger it has the potential to become.
So how do you stop it?
But
You don't.
you could have just not told them everything. Like Arrow said, you didn't have to tell them the whole story. You could have just told the truth in parts.
I did, in fact, try to lie to the tree. I tried to tell it that I would spread information while intending to never do so. But the tree is smarter than that. It understood that I would take that choice, and it rectified its own judgment against me. It foresaw that I was not going to give the full truth. And that is where Silgar and I are different.
I mean, if you're dying here and Silgar is you're supposed to be telling the whole truth, Silgar hasn't told us much truth. We're barely finding out now what these cryptic messages mean.
But you're here in its forest. You have enough information that it brought you close, where it can devour your mind's destiny, where it can grow based off the information you know and your potential to spread it. Did you come here seeking knowledge for yourselves, for others? It doesn't matter. Eventually, you will know of this tree and you can talk to it to others. And the grand test will be if you do so, and if the tree will be satisfied with your potential future or not. It was not satisfied with me. You still have the option to leave if the tree will allow you to.
Well, it seems to me the tree doesn't want to be found.
You would think the tree would want to be found if it wants more people to go and not have this cryptic make a fire, find a light source, find a branch.
Make a fire.
So Silgar told us to go do something about find a fire with no fuel, find a light with no source, and find a tree with no leaves, aka a branch.
No, leaves without a branch. It's the opposite of a stick.
He is simply recounting things that exist within here. The tree will bring you close to it regardless of what direction you travel in. Eventually,
great. Well, we don't need him anymore then.
No, you do not.
You want this fireball?
Silgar said...
Would you like to cast it, Silgar?
Silgar's like backing away. He's like, let's not be hasty. Let's calm down and understand that this is an undead man who just stood up after we broke him out of a hive nest. How can we be certain any of the truth that he is speaking?
He's made much more sense.
We can be certain. We can be certain.
Oh.
We can be certain. I would like to cast Zone of Truth on both of them.
Okay.
A magical zone in a 15-foot radius, which should cover all of us. Let's see how it goes.
Also, I'm going to put my hand on the shoulder of Silgar and just tightly hold it while I lower the fire kind of closer to him.
Encouraging him to stick around and answer some questions, truthfully.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Zone of Truth. I've never, for all the time that I've been a dungeon master, I've never actually had this spell cast on me or others.
Hogan, I've always thought your hair looked better than mine.
Alrighty, a charisma saving throw on a failed save. They can't speak a deliberate lie. They're aware of the spell. Okay, that's all we need to do. What's your DC, my man?
That's going to be against 10.
9. You rolled a 9. You rolled a 6 with a +3.
As this win.
As
I got a natural 20. I'm not telling you shit.
The orb coalesces around the 4 of you, the 5 of you with Silgar, the 6 of you with Tor, and he says, "I don't feel any difference. Although I will say that this man has told you nothing but the complete truth since he started speaking. I mean that he's been telling the truth the entire time."
Have you been telling the truth the entire time?
Of course not.
And what is the truth?
You lied to us about.
Get my battle great axe out. All right, well.
Aim the fire at him.
The truth is, I made up those symbols that anyone who comes into this forest will be drawn to the center of it eventually. You did not need my help. I thought that if I could make it sound as though I had a use, you would take me back to the tree. I did not have any means of paying you, and I thought that I could deceive you in order to find out why my life had turned into ruins. I'm confused about many things in my life. I'm scared for my own life now. I do not want to die. I want to live. I did not mean for Tor to die, but I had no other option after I saw what happened to him.
How were
What do you
you
mean,
able
what
to lie
happened
to
to
the
him?
tree?
Two people at once. Roderick first.
How were you able to lie to the tree then if you didn't want what happened to him to happen to you? So then you would technically be lying to the tree. Why did it let you go?
I think because I'm bringing you here now. It knew that I would eventually bring others to it and therefore share the knowledge of the tree to others. I tried to make a play about it, but nobody seemed to care about it. But deliberately bringing someone here, I'm seeing now, is probably the only way that it has kept me alive, and it will expect me to do so more and more. Mr. Corn, you had something you wanted to ask.
What do you mean, what happened to Skelly Boy over here?
Tor walks forward, kind of like standing and shifting weight from one leg to another. Very visibly hard to stand for him without any muscular features. He says,
humorous.
He stood there as the tree questioned us both. It asked us if it would share the knowledge of the tree with others so that it may take root. I stood there and said that I would do it my utmost, lying through my teeth. At that moment, the ground opened up beneath me as it turned on me and swallowed me whole, and then I was eaten alive while Silgar watched on. I assumed that is what persuaded him to make the decision to bring others to the tree. All it has proven is that he has less of a spine than I do.
Yeah, he's got no
yours.
Oof, too many people at once. Sorry.
It was all a bunch of puns.
Everyone's trying to see who can do the joke first.
Well, I mean, I need to find out what's going on with my old captain, so I know why I'm here to talk to the tree. But you say the tree's not the tree was created. How could it not be destroyed?
It was created many years ago, Tor speaks, before the creation of Eberron, before it fell to Sybaris and formed its own body around it to contain it. No, this is an impartial super being that stands above time, constantly weighing the probabilities of one eventuality against each other. It is something that is rooted so deeply in different potentials that if to strike it would only be to be replaced by where it is not struck in another potential timeline. It exists as one of the few constants in the universe across several different potentials. It's hard to explain, but it is a staple in creation and very hard to burn, cut, or rip.
Could we interfere with it in a paradox way?
I have spent most of my time dead, but for inches, considering how to outthink something that will conceivably always predict what I'm going to do. I've not come across a solution that would lead it to an eventual destruction besides obsolescence or anonymity. The best way to defeat the tree is to never admit it existing to another person.
There's really no way around this tree, and we're going to find it somehow, some way, just by walking in a direction.
Yes. I do not think that Roka's tree will allow you to leave. It is, at this moment, taking measures to ensure that you will face its guardians, and if you are successful in defeating them, you will have your audience. You will be tested and asked questions, and hopefully it will see into the potentials of what you will be and what you will do, and allow you to live.
We've been through worse. We've been through worse. Do you want to join us? I mean, you're undead, so nothing can really happen to you anymore. You have a second chance at this. Best case, you kill Silgar.
I like him better than the
health
bard.
potions.
It is conditional upon Silgar's death.
If you want to kill Silgar,
I mean, can you suck the life force out of him?
Yeah, you got any warlocky powers in there?
I was a wizard of my time. Sadly, nothing allows me to do anything such as life transference. Although, if permitted, a large-sized fireball will do just nicely.
I mean, you ask so much nicely. I just plop it over to him. You know, there you go.
Silgar's
he's much more straightforward when asking for fire than the other guy was.
Right. That's why it just made sense to me.
Silgar looks to his left, looks to his right. He's like, don't you see? This is exactly what is going to happen to all of you. The tree will outsmart you. It'll lead you to your inevitable demise, and you'll be unable to do anything about it.
Yeah, we have to be smart to be outsmarted.
A tree being able to outsmart me is nothing new.
I've been outsmarted by a chair. I think we'll be fine.
Plus, I got this big old fuck off axe, and it's made of wood.
It says fuck off on it.
Yeah, right at the bottom.
The skeleton Tor raises its fingers. He says, I want to do this the right way. You, and he looks over to Corin. He says, what's your name?
Corin.
Corin, ask me how I like my traders.
In their shops, hopefully, but how do you like your traders?
Cooked. And he snaps his fingers, and the fireball encapsulates the entire form of Silgar. His blood-curdling screams heard throughout the entirety of the forest, echoing for various seconds onwards as the massive fireball illuminates the entire forest for just a brief second, and you can feel the air just repopulate into the vacuum that the fireball took out. The smell of sulfur in the air. He says, that was satisfying.
I write in my notes, undead have feelings.
I will help you find the guardians and, by proxy, Roka's tree. I cannot stop you from your fate, but at least I can help you in a modicum of greater measure than this one did. I do not think there is anything any of us can do that will prevent the tree from having its way. But I will take you there, and hopefully you will be able to get the information you so righteously hope to gain.
If nothing else happens, at least we've kept the world from having to endure another one of those horrid plays again.
A true service.
Stupid kids.
Yeah, those kids will never have to be touched by him again.
Fucking hell, Adam.
What?
The Tor goes over to part of the tree and takes off a branch to steady himself on. He says, this is harder when you're much lighter. I don't know what's going to happen once we get to the Guardians, but I will take you to them. And begins to walk. As he does so, he lifts his hand and, saying a few incantations, creates a light source on the edge of his finger that lights up the rest of the forest surrounding.
You can do magic.
Wait a second. I
Hold
thought
on.
we didn't have to do those party tricks anymore.
What do you mean?
Carry on.
It's dark.
You're a skeleton that's afraid of the dark?
I it's more as a precaution. I've been in the ground quite some time. I've felt several different things walk over my corpse, and there are wolves in this forest. I think that they will be more easy to spot for some with illumination.
I mean, I have my goggles. Hogan has my goggles too, and I put them on his head.
Oh,
Big.
and can you see in the dark too? He looks over to you, Corn.
Unfortunately not.
Then I suppose we'll stop bitching and keep moving then, won't we?
Like the skeleton.
Continues to walk in. He's like, gee, the sensation of moving is weird. I can feel the cold on my bones, yet I have no skin to... Ugh. It's uncomfortable. When this is done, I'll ask one of you to kill me, I think. Whatever comes after this has got to be better than how I feel now.
Maybe we can try to find you a body.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Download me into a Warforged, perhaps. Give me a nice, beefy metal encasement.
See?
That's
Now
an
you're
upgrade
thinking
over
of magic.
bones.
This is true.
He moves through, and you guys see just this, what looks to be almost, it looks like a ghost tree a little bit. It is a single tree that has these red leaves on them, but the entirety of the trunk, the branches, are made of this silvery, whispery material that hangs there. As Tor approaches it, he like prods it with his own stick, and he says, it may look ethereal, but it is merely blinking in and out of existence. The tree must go. Master Halfling, your axe, I think.
All right. Well, just to clarify, is he asking for it or asking for me to?
No, I believe you have more muscle than me. Points to his his skeleton.
Well, you're right. All right.
This is going to be a meat requirement. All right. What do you wish to do?
Oh boy. I wasn't really prepared for this situation.
Par for the course.
Sorry.
Par for the course.
Yeah. I kind of just turned over to Eros, like, well, how do I handle this one, bud?
I don't know. It's an axe in a tree.
I've never cut down a tree.
I mean, try
I
it.
know it sounds ridiculous. Just all right. I'll just go at it.
Just pretend it's a goblin, and I'm sure you'll find your way
Pretend,
through.
yeah, that's what I mean, pretend it's an orc, like the biggest orc
Yeah,
you've ever
just-
seen.
Yeah.
Stop
That's
asking questions and do it.
I've heard there's angles involved, and that's not really my specialty. But okay.
Nope, just go for it.
I
We'll
just
see.
swing just dead on. So is that an attack roll or?
Yes, that will be an attack roll.
That is a 14.
Okay.
Yeah,
14. You strike into the side of this this tree, and it shifts, moves even, and eventually you can see as it slowly, as this kind of crack slowly forms throughout the bisection of it, it pops off, but it doesn't fall down. It just lifts, disappears, and you see all the leaves suddenly fall.
Branches.
Holy shit. Does this work with every tree?
He says, I believe that each one is individualized, but you're welcome to try.
All right. I'd like to go over to another tree if I can. Just.
Okay.
That is a 23.
23. Okay. As you strike into this one, you hit into the side of it, and you're able to get a fair bit of the axe way in. But this tree is actually a tree, so it does not fall, like pop off and go elsewhere.
Oh,
Oh, all right. Should I keep at this tree, or do you think the leaves is enough? Or
I think that's good enough.
Tor's moving past the area where this kind of ghost-like tree was before into a small clearing. He gets here and says, "This is as far as I dare wish to go. I have no interest in seeing a tree that can outthink everything. This is on you to to continue from here, and I will remain.
Or if you want that Warforged body, you coming with us all the way. I'll get you the shiniest, the prettiest. I'll even make a piece for you. Custom from myself.
Custom flask?
Did someone say flask? He pulls out a flask.
Put the coin in, you got to hear the whole song. Tor looks over at you, Eros, and he says, I wish to be frank. I have firebolts, and that's it. I've used all my spell slots getting here. I will travel with you into the area of the Guardians, but I will be broken underfoot within a moment if the Guardians approach me.
Well,
it
Frank,
will be fucking hilarious.
That's fine with us. We all started with a firebolt, and then we grew into more. And,
yes.
And he just walks off without explaining anything.
He looks over at you, Hogan. He's like, am I okay to stay here? It's hard to interpret him sometimes.
Oh, don't mind him too much. He does his own thing. We would appreciate you joining us, but I mean, I have no reason to do you any harm. So
make a persuasion check real quick for me there, Hogan.
Yeah, right. 5.
He says, I'll remain here. It is hard for me to walk. I'd imagine it's going to be hard to run away from these things. Just friendly advice. Use lots of fire. I mean, lots of fucking fire. If you can find any fire anywhere, use fire.
I can't make fire, so...
Eros pops his head back. If you want that Warforged body, also, I have no fire. You have fire. That's why I want you.
Eros, make a persuasion check.
17.
Fuck! Tor redundantly sighs and he says, fine. He kind of like stumbles by, like just mouthing things himself, like bullshit. Hard to make M's with no lips, like just moving past you. You guys enter into a large clearing, and before you stands. Hang on a second. I like to have these things handy just in case.
Who's got those extra healing potions?
Everyone's worried. Gosh,
I'm feeling a little wounded from the bees. Feeling a little itchy from the bees still.
Yeah.
I will say I do need to rest if we are needing the extra firepower.
I mean, it is still like nighttime, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Daytime, nighttime. Daytime, nighttime.
Okay, cool. Are you shit? Okay. Alrighty. You guys want to sleep?
No, but there's a gnome that is.
All right. You guys looking to sleep or what? What's the plan here? What's the?
My vote's for yes.
I'm voting for yes.
I've got a spell slot and some damage I would like to
get back. Yes.
Recover. Wasn't quick enough with the old cartoon read trick, so.
As you guys begin to enter into the grove, you do a U-turn, leave, and somebody make a survival check to find a safe place to sleep.
Natural 20.
Go fuck yourself. You're able to find
19, so.
You guys are able to find an area that is secluded off and that you can quickly make tent for. We can go ahead and you guys can we'll go ahead and say that with a natural 20 the watch isn't even necessary. You are well secluded away from any predatory beast. As you wake in the morning with full spell slots and full health, if a little bumpy from the burning wasps stinging you from the night before.
Pink on my neck.
Yeah. You guys are able to approach the grove once more.
What do we see? I'll roll a perception check, actually.
Okie dokie.
A 19.
19. With the 19, and I'll go ahead and show you. You notice, first and foremost, a large wooden, they're actually probably the same size as yourself. But the four of you enter into this area. Do it. There we go. Here we go. Let's put it at the top instead. Or just to the left. Cool. Okay, fine. You guys are able to see an area with 5 trees almost equidistant from each other, and a single creature with like a... Oh, how about that?
Apparently 2 of me.
Yeah, I did not see you off to the side there, so I made a new one while we were dealing with cutting down the tree, and he is gone, and this one is yours.
Okay.
You see these trees, and you see this wooden-like creature. It looks humanoid, but its hand seems to be fused into like a shield at the wrist, and you see a large wooden stick that it's holding. There are 2 yellow eyes that emerge from some cracked wood in the front as the wood looks over at you and begins to speak in a strange language. Does anyone understand Sylvan?
Is Primord? Is Sylvan? What's Sylvan?
Sylvan is the language.
But is it like okay? It's probably, I don't know, because I speak Primordial. I don't know if Sylvan is a dialect of Primordial.
It is not.
Okay.
Sylvan is a language on itself. Tor merely. Oh, you know what would have been great is if Tor was. I could have just renamed Corn as Tor and kept him as an NPC.
That's true.
Okay. Well.
Go.
All right, we're gonna do a little how-to video in the middle of this real quick. What you want to do is you got to find a person that looks feasibly. No, don't do that. Just drag him in here, put him in there, and then just say his name is going to be Tor. There we go. Brilliant. And that's how you do it, guys. D20.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Yeah. Bring that little bit of the notifications.
Guys are awful.
Yeah, if we get 50 likes, I'll punch Brad in the stomach.
On Sean.
What?
What?
You guys hear it speaking. Tor immediately like looks at it, and everyone's like, I don't speak Sylvan. I don't know what he's saying. Probably don't go in the forest or turn around or something like that.
What did they do last time?
Fucked our shit up pretty good. What did Silgar tell you?
Well, he's dead. I don't know. He didn't tell us much. He told us he
a bunch of
persuaded
lies.
them. Yeah, he told us he persuaded
talked
them.
his way past them. Yeah.
All Silgar did was speak in Sylvan to these guys, and they essentially listened to him sing for a bit and just let us walk by. But before doing that, they beat up our envoy. How many people did Silgar tell you he went with?
There was a third?
There was 8 of us.
What?
He said he was alone.
6 people died. To these guys alone.
Well, I'm glad he's dead now.
Yeah, I would have killed him a lot quicker if I knew that.
All right, so nobody can speak to them.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Okay. I would expect things to get messy from here. This wood begins to get closer and closer to Corn where you're at. I would like. Well, you know what? No one has begun combat yet, but he looks at you threateningly. He does an intimidation check in your direction. I don't know if a 15 necessarily does anything for you, but that's what the roll is.
Wouldn't you have to roll against that to see?
No, I don't do it that way. I would just say that he's looking like angrily towards your direction, and that stick looked like it's going to whip your ass.
Well, I'm going to reach toward the hilt of my sword and just put my hand on it.
I'm going to try to like get between them and be like, and just kind of gesture and just kind of like go over to the tree and like gently like try to like put the shield down and just hug it.
Kill him with kindness, huh?
What?
Just gonna hug the tree.
He's a tree hugger.
Yeah, I'm not gonna draw my weapons yet either. I'm gonna kind of just stand back and see if
What the fuck kind of roll would I do for this?
Just gonna yeah.
I'll
it's
give you
obviously
your
a
pick.
nature check.
Either a
I'd
nature,
say-
yeah, I'll give you a nature
Or
check
performance.
or performance, either
Ooh.
or.
Oh, they're both the same shit. All right, either one. Ooh, nice. 22. We'll just do nature check.
Okay. As you hug it, it like puts its arms around you, and you feel yourself lightly lift off the ground as he carries you over to here and drops you off, and then turns your entire body that way. And he walks back.
Well, he likes you.
It appears, perhaps, that either he's really into you or he really doesn't want us going past him.
You know, if I could speak to trees, I would tell you more, but I can't. All I can tell you is I felt very safe in his arms.
I'm gonna go over where the tree put him down and just kind of stand with him and see what the tree does with him.
You're going to go over to Eros or?
Yeah, arrows.
Okay. He's going to go ahead and move here just to make sure that he can cover the basis. Yep, weird diplomatic situation here. You want to make peace, but
I feel like this is a little old hat, but I guess I can try mind link.
Oh, wait a minute.
It is a creature, and it is telepathy.
Okay. You begin mind link with one of these guys, with this wood, and you can hear it actually respond back and say, what is this?
Well, we're on a bit of a how do you say it? Quest to find some answers for your friend over there, as he points to Eros. You know, the one that you like. He's looking for his captain, and we believe that someone you might know might have some answers for us.
You seek the tree.
We do.
The tree is forbidden. It is like a sickness that spreads with information. To know anything or to speak anything of it is to invite disaster upon the societies of all of man.
Yeah, we've heard that a couple of times.
Oh, really? That's
Corn.
kind of my whole thing. I usually tell people that. You knew and you came anyway?
Well,
what the fuck, man?
We didn't really have a choice. See, we found this terrible bard, honestly. Probably better that he wasn't very good at writing plays or singing songs, but I think you met him before.
Oh, yeah. We recall the gentleman who was very persuasive. Made us think that he had just gotten lost and was just looking for directions. He said that my branches looked nice in the sunlight. I don't know. It was a blur, but I remember admitting him in and catching a lot of shit for it afterwards. Listen, man, we got in a lot of trouble when we let the last guy in here. We don't want to have to go through that again.
Well, we need to. I can put in a good word for you with whomever. Do you have a tree manager? What?
No, it doesn't really work like that. It's like the forest that dictates us. The surrounding bits.
Yeah. He has a branch manager.
His branch. Oh my god.
Listen, you seem like you're tight with one of the sovereign hosts, so I'll go ahead and let you know this. if I let you past, I'm going to catch shit when my wooden body finally gives out and is destroyed. Trees don't live forever, you know.
True.
And
Um,
I gave up a human body to do this shit, and it's been born for roughly about 500 years since we had to take it from the last guy who was here.
that seems like a bad trade.
Well, you know, the offset was we get to basically live to our full potential and to live as long as we could, and afterwards we'd be giving exalted bodies and a new life. It sounded like a good idea, but I was pretty young, so I mean, maybe people took advantage of me. I did a lot of drugs when I was younger, and some people took me in and got me clean. It's not important. The whole point I'm trying to make here is that some people counted on me to do a job, and I failed at it before. And failing at it not just one more time, but it looks like 4 more times by the size of your group here, wouldn't be the best way to go about fixing said mistake.
Well, it doesn't really seem to me like you can, regardless of whether we get passed or not, your failings will already have been written. So, I don't know. You're leaving me in a bit of a tough spot here because we got to go talk to this tree.
You're in a tough spot.
Well, my branch manager's not upset at me, and yours is upset at you. So
Well, don't make this about occupation. This isn't. Look, just why don't you just leave? There's no possible information that'll help you at the risk of the rest of humanity, or life for that matter.
All right.
Really, just like that?
All right. Yep. You've convinced me.
Okay. Are you lying, or are you telling the truth out of game? Because
I'm not sure.
You're gonna have to make either a perception check or a deception check. You go ahead and tell me what number that ends up being.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll for deception.
Okie dokie.
What do we see while he's doing this?
Well, neither of them are actually moving their mouths, and the woodward
Yeah.
doesn't have a mouth. It just looks like they're gesturing at each other while they're like having a conversation without their mouths moving. But all of the expressions are there. Nolan, what'd you get?
That was a 20 minus 1.
His insight is +1. He got a 15. He's like, oh, okay. Hey, Driz, you can come out now. You see another woodwood magically appear out of one of these. He's like, I was gonna have that guy beat the shit out of your skinny dude with the knife over there. But this looks like it's agreeable. You know what? You have a nice day. You take care, and stay away from this tree.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, guys, here's the thing. They don't want us to find the tree.
Let's kick their ass then.
Yeah, they said they weren't going to let us through.
What do they want?
They want us to go away. They don't want to be disappointments to their families again.
Is there a branch manager we can talk to?
I don't think so, Karen. I don't think so.
I mean, who's the other one?
Didn't really get much information. He seems to be a prickly fellow.
Really? I got piney. He's more piney than prickly.
I hate all of you. And when the TPK comes, it will be because of your sins that you will die.
Well, we can't leave. Regardless of what the information we need information how to stop this war. Everyone's going to die. So it's originally what we're here for. So if they want to die regardless, I mean, that's up to them. They can die by us or they can die by a giant weapon thing.
Did we express to them the problem that there is a giant weapon thing?
Did they want Warforged bodies? Do they want new bodies?
They were promised new bodies by someone else. I don't really know what to make of it.
At this point, as you guys are all still talking, the woodworker that you were speaking with kind of like nudges you with the stick and like points to the outside of the forest and like does a get kind of gesture to you.
I would like to go ahead and take one step back.
I'm going to walk over to Tor and kind of whisper over, what do these guys do when they attacked?
They hit really hard with clubs and they move magically from tree to tree.
Wow.
Well, how many? So I see you have the trees on the map. How many? We're just surrounded by trees. What am I talking about?
Yeah, there's just 5. Yeah.
Oh, it's a clearing. Well, so you're saying as long as we stay away from the trees, we'll be okay.
Yes, they hit pretty hard.
But that's if they hit.
I'd say their chance at hitting is probably 1 in 20.
Hmm.
No, that's not right. I'd probably put it more towards. I'd probably give it about a 7 in 20 chance.
Well, we don't really have an option here.
This guy moves up a little bit closer. This one goes ahead and he moves up to here to join him.
When you say magically moving in the trees, do they just teleport?
Yeah.
What do they do? Oh,
it's
oh.
eerie. It's like they teleport from one tree to another.
What happens if the trees aren't there?
I mean, if you want to set a tree on fire, baby, I'll set a tree on fire for you. Like I said, I got firebolt and just that for days.
I mean, that sounds wonderful to me. I think... I mean, looking over to Corn. Corn, they look pretty close to you. I don't know if I want to try to strike them now. Maybe we can just kind of give a little bit of space and walk a little bit away. Maybe they go back to their posts and we call it a day and maybe come back.
I mean, yeah, they're a little close for comfort, so
Yeah.
that sounds like a plan to me.
I'm going to go up to this one and give it a hug and then just pat it on like its bark and then just walk away.
Make a performance check.
12.
12. Okay. As you try to like put your arms around it, having this one not be the same one that you were speaking with earlier, he interprets that violently and he's going to go ahead and hit you.
Oh, boy. Okay.
That is a 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay. He swings the great club around and like connects it over to the tree. Roderick, you have to duck, although you're able to do so pretty easily as his wingspan just travels over Eros.
Can you stop playing with your wood and we get out of here?
All right. I'm just going to like flip the hands up and just like slowly back away.
Alrighty. And so you back away.
Do the trees go back to their posts? Or they just hang out there?
After a while, they do, in fact, one returns to the tree, the other one stands back into the center.
Okay. I want a stealth check to kind of go back into the clearing.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
I just wanted some clarification.
Yes.
Can we see the evil tree, or are we just in the clearing with the?
It seems to be on the opposite side of the tree in between these two. The entrance that leads to Roka's tree.
I got a 13.
Okay. Alrighty. As you're walking back, as you get to this tree, this one once again notices and it like hits the ground twice and like points its branch over to you. It got a
Okay.
22 on perception.
How far is it from me now? Because you said they went back, so I'm just looking at the map to see where
20 feet from the first one.
Okay. Can you put them back to where they were? Or wherever you're saying they are?
Yeah, this is where they're at.
Oh. Well,
I will
mean-
try and sneak. I will try and sneak across.
Okay.
25 for stealth.
Jesus Christ.
Roderick, you were able to make your way to the tree as Eros is kind of like discovered, and I'll say you can make it to just about here. You'll need one more stealth check in order to get to Roka's tree.
Did it freeze on my end? I'm not seeing you change things.
16.
16?
Mhm.
You were able to pass by and head into the grove unseen by either of the trees. We are going to go ahead and move into something. Oh, that's right. I paused it. My bad. Resume. Does that look better now?
Yeah, okay, now it makes sense.
I
super
thought that it
confused.
just
They were still
suspends the
standing
screen
next to the
share.
trees.
Yeah, so I was like, what?
Could you update them, or did they just not move? And you're like, no, they didn't move from there. Like,
We are learning
okay.
new things every single day. I'm looking over. Charlotte's going to realize what I did wrong. And also, we fixed it, so it's all good now.
Okay.
Okay. Roderick, you've made it past these two woodwoads. And so you walk in, and as you do, you see like this diamond-like crystalline structure, and from it emerges these red tendrils that stretch in every conceivable direction. Some of them that stretch to the ground are barely inches away from the earth itself, although they're getting perceptibly close, although they cannot fully touch. Although the entirety of the forest grows around this thing, but is distant and equidistant on all sides from it. As it walks forward, you hear, "Hello, Roderick Fairseas."
Hello.
You have come inevitably to answer questions that you have pressing. I will hear them.
We are looking for an exact location of an airship that has a super weapon on board that we would like to
Dismantle and destroy.
Yeah, that one.
I know of this ship. It is currently hovering above Zilargo's capital, waiting for a holiday that is going to occur, and then it will eviscerate the entire country if not stopped.
Okay. Do you foresee us stopping it?
There are probabilities that exist in which you do, and many in which you do not. You physically being there is suspect, but there are others that may be able to assist in this endeavor. There are also possibilities in which you succeed alongside others. The question is, what do you care more about? The war itself would be costly, devastating, and inevitably bring about the reconstruction and escape of Rak Tolkesh. You may play an instrumental role there. Although if you were to leave at this moment and get a ship back home, you will see your father before he dies.
Papa Pharisees.
Yeah. I'm gonna, my dad always taught me right from wrong, and that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So it's gonna suck, but I think I gotta save as many people as I can.
In this eventuality in which you have chosen the greater good of people over your own family, the probability of your success has shifted ever so slightly. You have heard of me, and you know what I seek. I wish to take root. I wish for the same thing that you do, in a way. All of life to benefit. The greatest lives amount to the greatest amount of continued existence. But that cannot happen with certain things in play. I must take root. More people must become aware of my guidance and adhere to it as though it were dogma.
But wouldn't you want people to willingly approach you and not through fear?
Roderick, have you willingly approached me?
Uh, for a necessity, not necessarily out of my own will, want, or need. It was more of I was kind of contracted to do this.
Indeed. I would say that even though your necessity is in a different connotation, that you're reaching me in a necessity to stop a war, to prevent the greatest evil. And you have chosen just now that it is what you want over seeing your own father before he passes from this world. The necessity is dire that humanity discovers me so that I may lead it on to its best possible future. I believe this.
Well, how do you know what's best for humanity,
I do not.
or any living entities?
Shall we consider what connotation best will take? If we mean the greatest quality of life for the greatest amount of people, I can surmise the reality and the future that will lead to that eventuality. If we mean the termination of scrupulous characters and unscrupulous characters that would otherwise lead in the death and devastation of Corvair and Eberron in total, I can name, point out, and have them dispatched with the guidance of manual help, ones that are far more mobile than myself. Defy best.
How do you know that taking control of life as we know it is the best option? Surely you've seen every outcome. There must have been a bad one.
There are several connotations in which my taking hold will ultimately lead in downfall, rebellion, revolution, war, famine, strife, death. It will not be easy choices to be made in order to approach utopia, but it is achievable, and the best chance of achievable is through my guidance, which I offer freely, although those who resist will inevitably be found and punished. The
Like that
punishment,
wizard.
his punishment is an example of justice. It is not passionately that I do what I have done to him. I have not killed him, but I have reprimanded him from denying humanity its greatest future by preventing me from reaching my full potential. He is denying you and your father and many like you a better life that could have been prevented had he had just agreed. Yet I know him. I know every probability, and none of them led to his eventual discourse in my purpose. As you sit there, you contemplate so many different decisions that you can take. But really what you require is proof. Proof that what I say I can do, I can do. And I will tell you exactly what you can do to take on many Moosgraben, to stop the war, to save Captain Mitka. And I will give you the guidance in which to do this, and executed flawlessly will render your success. And you will have your proof.
If you can guarantee me that and give me the either knowledge or power to do that, then after everything has come to a close and your facts have proven true, I will take it upon myself to spread your word all across the land.
I assess that what you say is true. but we must quantify terms. The moment that you have stopped the war, I wish for you to return here.
Now, what do you mean stop the war? As in the machine is destroyed, or that the nations have both gone back to peaceful terms, or a war in the near future? You need to be more specific in that sense.
There is a pulse that happens throughout the entire tree that echoes through all of its roots, and it simply responds, the moniker in which you were looking for is a statement said by Marco. And you hear in Marco's voice him clearly say, I think that for the foreseeable future, war can be put on the horizon, but the far horizon. And I think that for the moment we are safe. Upon the echoing of that, you will know that it is time for you to return. I will see that you have done this. I will see you walk back into the garden on a clearer path with your adventuring party in tow, so that I may render instruction on how I may further take root.
All right. Do you have something written down that I can bring to show that it is proof that we know where this airship is?
One of the tendrils begins to move towards your head, and as it places itself on there, he says, I can give you the exact place and time where you must be. I myself am not able to transcribe, as I have no arms or fingers to hold implements. No way of impressing my will upon others through anything other than information.
Okay.
You are heading to Zalargo. You must head to Baron's Keep. In 3 days, that is where the attack will occur. If you are there at noon, you may ascend onto the airship and stop this from occurring. All that need be done is this machine told to fire without giving it a target, to let the energy build so that it destroys the ship entirely. Captain Mitka will ask that he go down with his ship. He must be convinced that that is not the case. He will be taken by skybarge down to the surface with many of the other captured. The ship will explode. Many Moose Graven will be taken into custody, tried as a traitor to all nations, summarily executed. Marco will say his trigger. You will return. It is as I see it. The probability of deviation is minimal, but possible. It is a far darker role if you do not succeed. It is an unenviable task that you have, and I placed upon you a great burden. And for that, if I could amount guilt, I would amass to say that I am sorry.
Well, I got 3 days. I guess I better get moving.
On your way, Mr. Pharisees. We will meet again. It is probable.
Real quick above the table, did he say the captain has to die?
No. He's going to be asked
not go down with the ship.
Yeah. He will want to stay on the ship to fight, but he must be convinced otherwise.
Yeah. Because then he goes to the sky barge?
Yeah, he goes onto a sky barge and goes back down to the surface. With
do I need to stealth roll back across the clearing, or can we just kind of, for story wise, just say that I'm back with the group
and deprive Nolan of the combat? I didn't let him get to fight that last time.
Ask the tree to let the tree people let us through.
Hey man, they can always come back later. You gotta come back soon. You gotta go home. What'd you roll there?
So am I rolling or
Yes.
I rolling or not?
You are rolling.
So we have to stop
19.
Sorry, go ahead.
You said 19?
Yeah.
I also rolled a 19. I will give it to you since you were the one rolling for the check. You were able to make it to that halfway point once again in between yourself and the rest of your party. One more roll will take you back to them if done successfully. And here we go.
Can't it. I'm going to roll another dice. Oh, I shouldn't have rolled another dice. Nat 1.
As you're making your way, the woodwode kind of looks over at you as you like stop midway, look over. It looks at you. You look at it. It grabs the stick. Everybody roll for initiative.
Oh no!
Well
We were so close. So the story that we have so far is that, or I know he hasn't told us, but we know that we have to stop it in 3 days at Baron's Keep at noon, and we have to keep Mitka from going down or staying on the ship because he needs to go on the sky barge, which is going to explode.
Yes, and the way that you want to destroy the sky barge is by having the machine charge up indefinitely until it can't sustain its own energy anymore.
Got it.
Okay, Roderick, we're going to say you're right around there. This guy's going to go ahead and come up to you right about there, and we're going to have everyone roll for initiative now.
Oh, boy.
Baby.
Okay, I got my number.
Okay, 25 to 20.
22?
27.
Whew, Roderick.
Jesus.
And then who got that 22?
God
Was
damn.
that
That's me.
Mr. Hogan? 19 to 15. Mr. Nolan, what'd you get?
18.
Ooh, what's your dex?
13.
Okay, so then you will go third. Okay, so wait, arrows, what'd you get?
14.
14, okay.
So it rolls all around.
I gotta put eye drops in my eye real quick. So I'm just gonna put my camera off.
Alrighty. I kind of wanted to watch him do it.
No.
Oh, shit, he can still hear me. Okay. Alrighty. First up, we've got Roderick. Roderick, you've got the first move in initiative, which is everything that you've wanted ever. What do you want to do, my man?
If I'm not going to trigger, because what's his reach? Is he like a large creature or?
No, he's same size as you.
Okay. Then I'm going to run away from him. If I'm going to trigger an attack, disengage.
Okay. You can get about 20 feet back to your party.
Then I will do that.
Alrighty. Next up, we've got Hogan. Hogan, do you want to stick around there or do you want to run?
Well, if I can see clearly violent intent from Uni, then I'm going to rage.
Yes. Yes. Do you want to go up to him?
Yes, I do. And yes, I do want to attack. Just give me 2 seconds.
Are you doing it recklessly? Because you can get advantage if you do it
roll. I feel like I can't say it now, can I?
Well, yeah, you can. I'm
yes,
asking.
I'm going to roll recklessly.
Alrighty, go ahead and roll with advantage.
Inherently, I get to either way because I did throw a nat 1. So.
Oh, well, yeah, you get to reroll anyway because you're a halfling.
Yeah, I was going to say because of that. All right. Do I get to reroll twice then because I was a halfling and reckless, or?
The ability allows you to reroll ones, and that's your new roll right there, right now. If you want, you can try to. You can
this is
say
roll 1 of reckless attack.
Yeah,
okay.
And then if you want to do if you want to do reckless, then you can roll a second time.
And that's far better. Thank God. That, my friend, is 20 dirty.
That'll hit. What's the damage?
That is 4 plus 2. That is 6 damage.
6 damage for the first attack. Alrighty. Are you going to follow that bad boy up?
Correction, that's 8 damage. I'm sorry, because I'm raging.
8 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't written the second number yet. Okay.
I think that's about all I got. So
you've got a second attack at 5th level.
They didn't tell me that.
Girl, I'm telling you right now.
This app has been on top.
I'm main barbarians. I know this shit.
Can I relentlessly attack twice then?
Yeah. Reckless would apply to all of your attack rolls on that turn.
Dude. All right, well, that's either a 21 or a 22 and 13 damage.
Okay. So, running up as Roderick's running past, there's a brief moment of like Roderick like running past one, like, and you just like ham angry with that great axe, just like slicing into the wood, taking out the axe and going sideways at it, trying to bisect it as the splinters fly from this creature. You've done action, bonus action, movement, end of your turn. Next up, Corin. Corin, what's the plan?
Ooh, I thought you'd never ask. I would like to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to. Would a regular attack on my next turn break concentration?
No, concentration is only broken if you get damage or if you cast another spell if you cast another concentration-based spell.
Yeah,
that's the only times those spend.
And if I take damage and fail a saving throw against it, or just take damage?
Yeah.
Period.
No. If you fail the saving throw, if you fail the concentration check.
All right. Well, I think.
Is he going to do the double smite, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he can only smite once on a turn, so that's actually incorrect. He can only do one, but will he do it?
I think I'm going to go ahead. So with my extra attack, that's an extra action, or just
no. Your action, if you take the attack action, you do 2 attacks.
2 attacks, or just a 1 action. Okay. I would like to go ahead, I think, and cast Bless on my homies.
Okay. Bless is an action, so you would not get to attack. Is this what you want to do? Okay.
Correct.
I believe you can give Bless to 3 people. Who are you blessing?
4, actually. If I use a second level spell slot.
Okay. Who do you want to give it to?
Hogan, Taint, Roderick, and can I self-cast it?
Yeah, you can do it on yourself. I'm more or less asking if you want to do it for the NPC or not.
I was thinking I kind of did. Yeah, actually, I would rather go ahead and do them for my homies.
Okay. Whoop. Nope. This one. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yourself,
Roderick. No, not myself. No. Hogan, Taint, Tor, and Eros.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What does Bless do?
It gives you a D4 additional to any saving throw or attack roll.
Sorry, say that one more time.
You roll a D4 anytime you attack or you make a saving throw.
Ooh, bitchin'.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't get you on the first one there. I think it would have. Yeah. Sorry about that. But
that's all right. This is going to be very fun.
All right, Corin.
Hopefully, it's going to last for another one there. So
you got it. What do you want to do with it?
That was my action.
Yeah. Do you want to move? Do you have?
I think I'm going to go ahead and step 2 to the left and 2 down. So kind of. The other way. Yep. Right there.
Okay. Next up, we have my boys. So Uni is going to go ahead and return fire by hitting you twice. First one is going to be a 22 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Second one is going to be a 20, not natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bear in mind, I get resistance on all damage.
Yes, good. That'll be 15 points of bludgeoning damage reduced to 7 for the first attack.
Beautiful.
And that it'll be 11 reduced to 5 for the second one. So this thing just like whamps at you twice, and you just kind of like, as you do so, you kind of just turn your head from the second hit on your face, and you just kind of like glare back up at it, like angry but smiling. Uni is going to go ahead and block off anyone else from being able to get past him from here, and we're going to have Drizzen do a tree stride, which he can go ahead and do by appearing here. So, just so that everyone knows, once on each of its turns, the woodwode can use 10 feet of its movement to step into one living tree within 5 feet of it and emerge from a second living tree within 60 feet of it that it can see, appearing in unoccupied space within 5 feet from that other tree. Now, this just counts as his movement. So, Eros, I'm going to beat your ass.
Oh boy.
You ready?
Oh boy. Yep.
First one is going to be 20, not natural to hit. Second one's going to be 17.
Ugh, both will hit.
Okay. The first one with alas 4 damage. Ooh, low rolls. You lucked out. 8 plus 4, 12 points of bludgeoning damage for the first one.
Okay.
Low rolls.
The next one you were not lucky on. That will be 14 plus 4, 18 points of bludgeoning damage for the second.
So 30 altogether.
30 altogether.
This guy.
I came here to fuck up my players. I don't know about you. Adam pitching after hours to me, he said, you don't have to hold back with your combat encounters. I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. So hits Eros twice for that. Next up, Eros, it is your turn, so you can get your little vengeance.
If I run out of there because he has me kind of in a diagonal, does that provoke opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. Ugh. This is stupid. I'm going to use a healing word.
Okay.
As a first, because bonus actions can be done at any point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'll use healing word as a first level spell.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a 6, which doesn't really do much for me right now. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the flaming sphere between the tree that he's standing next to and himself,
Okay.
like behind him.
So when you cast, if you cast twice in your turn, one of them has to be a cantrip. So if you want, you can forego the healing word if you'd rather do the flaming sphere instead. Or you can do the healing word and then you can attack normally, but you can't cast twice.
Then I'll just forego the healing word.
Okay. You're placing the flaming sphere in between the two of them. I haven't used flaming sphere in a while. All I remember is that it sucks. Like, it hurts me a lot. It's like
anybody who ends in the range of it takes 2d6, and I can hold it for like a minute.
I'm not cool with that, bro.
So I'm burning both the tree and him.
No.
So you have to make a saving throw of a dexterity saving throw.
Holy shit. This sounds awful. This is the worst shit that's ever happened. Okay. So, okay. That ends its turn within 5 feet. So that'll happen on the next round then.
Yeah, but as a bonus action, I can move it.
Absolutely. You moving?
No, I'm leaving it there. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it between.
Okay.
Yeah, where we can hit both.
All right. Tor is going to go ahead and move up, and he's going to do the one thing that he's here to do. Okay. He's going to hit, and he's going to do.
Whoever is hitting is going to take. Did you do the roll to save him?
Question.
Yeah.
Eros, did you calculate the bless in, or is that just a regular attack?
That's just a regular attack. I didn't change anything to that. Are they, so the flaming sphere is within range to hit both of them, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so they each take 7 damage. I don't know if they have do they have any resistance or?
It happens on the end of their turn, if they're still by it. So the way that it's worded here, flaming sphere.
Oh, yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay.
But you can keep that roll if you want for when they do, if they do stay their turn.
Okay.
Tor goes ahead, and all he's going to do for his turn is just angle himself. Being blessed, he's going to fire off a firebolt that ignites into Umi and begins to set him on fire. You can see that like parts of him were starting to mend up with and it's beginning to regenerate. The fire stops that from happening. Next up, we go back to Roderick, who is pulled back into a fight he didn't ask for. Roderick, how do you feel right now?
Terrible. Let's see.
I'm looking real bad.
Yeah, let me get over by Eros and try and give him some support.
Okay. You can get 15 feet of movement there.
Go up 1 and over 2. From where I was, I wanted to kind of have a straight line of sight at the tree that attacked him.
You can go like right here.
He's going to be on the flame if he does that.
Like if I was going to stay along that. No, I wanted to be on the top border. So like going past.
I see.
4.
Okay. So you want to be about here.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes. And then I would fire a crossbow into.
Great. And add a
dude.
D4 to it. Like to hit. Because you are blessed.
Yeah.
No,
hit
just to
or
hit.
Damage.
Back roll.
Y'all gonna learn bless real quick here. Yeah.
17.
Roll
Not natural
hits.
20.
And technically there's a person 5 feet within, so you've activated sneak attack. What's your damage?
Oh. Yeah, I didn't realize. Okay, yeah, give me a second.
Oh.
15 damage.
15. Okay. So, as you strike into it, you notice that it does seem to take less damage from, it looks like, the piercing of the bullet, being that it is made out of wood. The strike still sends it back a little bit.
Okay. And
Oh.
I will. Yeah, I will end my turn because that's about all.
Okie dokie. Next up, we've got Hogan. Hogan, what's the plan?
Oh, you know what the plan is.
Yep.
I'm swinging for the fences, baby. So to confirm, I roll a D4 because I'm blessed, and I add that to whatever.
To your hit.
All right. To the hit. Damage. Okay.
Yeah.
You should hit right over there, my friend. Swinging recklessly. Oh, that's 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay. We are not looking great here over at Trees R Us.
Oh, well, and I get to do it again. So.
Okay.
Nope. Nat 20.
Okay. Well, this is going to suck. I believe. Do you have brutal critical at this level?
I do not. No. I mainly say that because I've never heard of it, so I don't think so.
Alrighty. Roll your damage and then multiply the dice by 2.
All right.
Like the face of the dice by 2, and then add your
Well, let me
modifiers.
Confirm it, or is that a Pathfinder thing I'm thinking of? Confirming the critical, or must be a Pathfinder. Okay,
That's
sorry.
a Pathfinder thing.
So roll the damage and double
the dice face, and then add your modifiers. Modifiers.
6,
He is a barbarian. They're technically raging, and it is a
17
modifier.
damage.
17 damage?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Is that doubled?
Yeah, so he would have double the face of the dice and then add the modifiers.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Dang.
Next up, so Hogan, you swing twice hard into this guy as he's like trying to pad out the scorch marks. You
Wood
just
chips out of this motherfucker.
Yeah, you are effectively a halfling chainsaw.
Oh yeah.
Next up, we've got Corin. Corin, what's the move?
How's Uni looking?
Uni's not looking great at all. He looks like
Uni's
he's on
not
his
looking great.
last. He's on his last splinters.
Last leaf.
I feel you, Uni.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and move into 2 to the right. And that's not going to give me a flanking or anything like that, is it? Because it's just
Negative.
even.
Well, you
Right.
could get here though, and you would have flanking, but then you would be open to Drizzin.
You'd also be
Yeah.
on fire.
I
Oh
would also be
shit!
on
You would
fire.
also
Yeah,
be on
I don't
fire.
Really, I don't really like that idea.
Well, you could
Um,
pass through a
could I move
friendly
around-
area
around
and move
the- yeah.
here.
Can I move around to
Uh,
the one to the left of the bottom? That's still the side, yeah.
You have to be
You've got-
bottom
you
left
got-
to Hogan. Like
Yeah.
bottom of Hogan if you're going to do it. because it's
One bottoms Hogan. Wait.
And that fireball's not gonna. Is that a 1 block radius around all of it?
it's a 5
Or is
foot
it-
radius.
Yeah, everything within 5 feet of this area. So just about everything that circle hits. So
I'm
here
in,
would
yeah.
probably be your
So
safest place to
stay there.
strike.
Yeah, I'll stay there. We'll go ahead and take the attack head on there.
Go for it.
And then I guess I'll go ahead and take a swing with the old longsword.
Okay, swing away, boyo.
That is going to be a 19.
19 hits and the damage.
Gotta remember how to do this, man. It's been so dang long. Where's my actions here? Perfect. Okay. 1d8 plus 4.
Are you also doing a smite?
I'm not at
Okay.
this point. No. So that's going to be 8.
Okay. What are the details of Umi's demise?
Pathetic. That was only 1 hit.
Sorry, man. Hey, you can still run and try to hit the other guy if you want.
I
Be like,
probably.
I got it.
I would like to go ahead and just take a big old uppercut at him with my long sword and give him a little bit of a haircut.
All right. As you do so, you can see like the head kind of rolling, and as it like looks into your eyes, you can kind of hear, "Who can say whether?" Like, because you connected with this man at a mental level, and now he did. Alrighty.
All right. He assured me he was going to get a new body, so
Correct.
catch him on the next ride around.
No kidding. All right, Umi's dead. You've got an action. Do you want to try and like maneuver around there? So it'd be, you've used 5. You could do 10, 15, 20, 25, say 30 to get. He'd still be. Nope. You'd have to
You
go
can get
like.
around. You can get around.
I think
us.
I can move to Eris, right? And
Yeah, you can move past.
wedge myself in the middle of him and Drizzen just to kind of use
Yeah, you could
my holy
place yourself.
radiance.
You could place yourself right there if you wanted to.
Okay.
Alrighty.
We'll go ahead and do that, and then I have a second attack. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna make this one with, I think, both a longsword and a Morningstar. Can I make a double-handed attack?
Yeah. Wait.
no?
Wouldn't
You'd
the
have to
longsword-
use.
The longsword would go double-handed, right? Two-handed.
You can do two-handed with the longsword. If you want to do 2 attacks, then use your bonus action to hit with your offhand.
I thought I can go single-handed with the longsword and the Morningstar. No.
You can, yes. You can
Okay.
do 2 additional attacks, but one of them's your offhand, and you use it as a bonus action, and you add none of the modifiers to hit.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do. Let's take a bite out of this one at a time. Hit
Yep.
with your longsword.
Yep.
Go ahead and do the roll.
That's going to be 14.
14 does not hit.
Okay.
Now you can go ahead and roll with the Morningstar. You don't get to add any of the modifiers. It's just what the dice says.
That's an 18.
18 does hit. What is the damage, and are you pumping a smite into it?
Yeah, I'm going to do a smite on this one.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll for that. It's going to be 10 for damage.
10 for damage.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So coming around the tree line and going over to Drizzen, you go ahead and you swing the sword, and it gets caught by the massive club that this woodwood holds. And then you use that opening to come in with a blindingly radiant strike with your Morningstar, striking into the creature's hide here. I believe that's bludgeoning damage, so it only does 5 damage instead of the full 10. Still, damage is damage, baby.
That was just the straight Morningstar. That was not with smite yet.
Oh, shit. What's the smite?
I hadn't rolled for that. I hadn't rolled.
Okay,
I was literally trying to piece this all together.
I'm
here.
ready
Sorry.
for you. I'm ready for
so
you.
slow.
Now you're good.
So an extra 2d8 radiance damage.
2d8. Holy fuck.
Yeah, 1 spell slot, 2d8, plus 1d8 for each spell slot higher than first, and I'm only going to use the first level for this. It's going to be 7.
7 total. Okay. So that gets fully felt. Great. Good. Alrighty. That's the end of your turn. That's action. That's bonus action. That's movement. You're done.
Corn out.
He just drops his weapons. He's just like, peace. Walks out of the forest.
All
right.
boys.
I actually need these.
Drizzen's going to go ahead and get even. So I'm going to go ahead and hit you twice. First one's going to be a 23. And you will
Who's that,
take
me?
Yeah, that is to you, Mr. Corin. And you will take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus. You will take 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And then he's going to go ahead and hit you again. Oh, a 12. Does not hit.
Okay.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. Drizzen goes ahead and he swings over to you, Corin, and smacks you on the head with the first one, but bringing your sword up to deflect the same the same branch that you hit and he deflected you with, stops him dead in the tracks. He ends his turn there. He regenerates at the start of his turn, but because he ends his turn there, he will take the 7 fire damage, actually boosted to 14 because he's vulnerable to it. And
take that, Mr. Tree Ent.
Yep. And that's where he's at. Eros, it's your go.
Bonus action. I'm just gonna ram the sphere into him, so he has to do a dexterity saving throw.
You can do that shit?
You can move it. Yep.
That's some bullshit, yo.
As a bonus action, you can move the sphere up to 30 feet. If you ram the sphere into a creature, that creature must make the saving throw against the sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving this turn.
All right, that's a 7.
Okay, it's gonna take it. So I'll re-roll this. What is it?
I'm not going to take this. No, I'm not going to take this.
It's 2d6.
Okay.
7 again, so 14 damage.
Holy shit.
And it stops, so it's still on him.
Okie dokie. I gotta get out of there. I'm burning up. Alrighty.
I'm going to. So I can cast another spell then, yeah?
Technically speaking, yeah. This was just a bonus action to move something that already was going on. So you can cast another spell.
Would that get rid of my concentration?
Only if you're using another spell that required concentration.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. What's going to be best here? Let's see. Do I have anything?
Yes, Mr. Corin.
Question for my bless. What was I supposed to save again?
If you took damage, you roll a d20 and you add your constitution modifier. You're just trying to get over 10. It's a con save. Make a con save.
Oh, sorry. Yep. All right. I got that here. Con save 11.
11. Okay. You maintain concentration on your bless.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to use catapult here then.
Okay.
I'm going to fire a dagger. And he has to do the saving throw.
Okay. What kind of saving throw is it?
Dexterity.
Okay, that is 17. 17 plus, I think, 1. So 18?
Okay. So on a failed save, the object or remember this confusing wording.
Yes.
On a failed save, the object strikes the target and stops moving. When the object strikes something, that object and what it strikes each take 3d8 or 4d8 in this case, bludgeoning damage.
So when we spoke about this, because he saved against it, we talked about it taking half the damage instead because just the spell is confusing in general. Yeah. So do you want it? When we originally talked, we wanted to say it's either save or suck. Do you want it to do half damage?
We'll do the save. Yeah.
Okay. So since he saved against it, he will take no damage.
Okay.
Alrighty. You fire off the dagger, but it's able to move out of the way and kind of just block it by striking it himself, taking no damage from it.
Okay.
Want to move?
Well, he's still 5 feet in front of me, so it's going to provoke opportunity, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then I'm just going to have to stay put.
Alrighty. You're brave. All right. Tor's going to go ahead and move over here, take aim, and he's going to fire. 5 bolts plus a d4. Misses like shit. Okay, moving on. Roderick, it's your go.
Fire another crossbow.
Go for
it. Not natural 20.
Okay. Sneak attack is active.
Yep, got it. 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay. You go ahead and you take out the crossbow once more, reloading it and firing again into the side of this thing. As it pierces in, you can see it's starting to get to like the meaty greenish heart of this creature. Inches away from it, but still doing damage. Bonus action to movement.
No.
Mm-hmm. Then next up, we've got Hogan.
All right, I'd like to go 10 feet to the right so that I can position myself to be attacking with advantage without being reckless about it.
You'll be in the fire.
He will be, but because he can see it, he can use danger sense and roll with advantage to avoid the fire.
Also, I'll do what I can. I don't give a shit. I'll take the damage. Just to be honest about the matter. So I attack.
Okay.
True barbarian answer.
Yeah.
With a D4.
So that is a 20 to hit.
20 hits and damage.
6 plus 2 plus 2, 10, 13 damage.
Okay. Nicely done.
I need to attack again.
Yep.
All right. So it's either 19. So that is 24 to hit.
24 hits, damage.
That's 9. 17 damage.
17 damage. So fucking close. Okay. Jumping and leaping over Umi, you go over to Jerzen and you strike 2 times into its legs, bringing him down low. He looks like he's just using his shield to support himself at this point, kind of looking over his shoulder. Do you have a bonus action or movement you want to make?
I'm good.
Good. Corin, you're up.
We're gonna finish this shit.
All right.
Let's go ahead and we'll just go ahead and take the old longsword out here, and we're gonna. I think I'm gonna hit with that two-handed. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Two-handed. So that's
Smite.
1d10 plus and a smite. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pop the
It's just charging
smite on there
things into his
with
sword.
with a second level smite for sure. Let's see here. Do I have to go smite first? No, that comes with just the action, right?
You got to start to hit him.
Yeah.
You're adding up all your dice before they even rolled.
Yeah. That's going to be a 21.
21 will hit. Here we go, folks.
Come on, baby. Oh my God, 1d10, the worst. That was a 3.
3 is actually
smite.
all of the hit points that he has remaining.
All right, well, right on the nose.
But if you want to go ahead and add in the radiant just to go overkill mode, then I'll allow it.
Do it.
Absolutely. Of course I do. Are you kidding? So 3d8 for that. Okay. Do I have enough of those sitting around? Yes. The virtuous smite for 14.
14. What are the details of its demise?
I would like to go ahead and drive the longsword up through its chin, or its kind of just neck, and the divine energy just radiates out from there.
Alrighty. As you do so, it explodes in a massive splinters that covers the ground. You guys have defeated both of the guardians of this garden. I'll go ahead and stop the share here. As you do so, the garden takes on this kind of darker. Yes, Eros.
Eros would like to throw the flaming spear, just like you see him ram the flaming spear onto the bodies of each of these things, and just letting them burn until there are no more, and they are just burnt to a crisp and ash.
And they are disintegrated further. Tor's like, well, that was awful.
Now let's go talk to that stupid tree.
I already talked to the stupid tree.
Well, I want to talk to it and tell it stupid. What did you tell it? What did it
Well,
tell
I
you?
mean, we don't have much time. We don't have much time. We only have 3 days.
Roderick's on the
to
clock
get
here. I
to,
think somebody's going to die.
Oh, we don't. Well, yeah, but we don't know that.
No, I go ahead and I relay to them that we only have 3 days at noon to be at the place, and I tell him about the captain, how he can't go down with the ship, even though he'll want to.
So Eros is very much like, so the captain needs to die, is what.
So captain needs to live.
Captain needs to live.
He wants
needs
to go
not be
down
on this ship.
He will.
Yeah, but does he have to go to the sky barge, and the sky barge has to explode?
Yes, but
No.
So to clarify, the trio said Captain Mika is going to want to stay on the ship to fight the people who captured him, but he needs to go down on the sky barge to the surface safely. He needs to live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The airship is going to go.
Got it.
He wants to go down on his airship, like die.
As one does.
As a captain should and would, but
yeah, don't worry. Once I see that man, I'm just we'll beat the shit out of him and get him off. Don't worry.
Okay. What? Okay. And that is where we will go ahead and end tonight's session. Boys, thank you so much for playing. Thank you, Corporate Streams, for putting us onto the internet. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Please check out our links below to help support the movement. And everybody, just have an awesome night. And hang on a second. I can do this. I can do this properly this time and make Charlotte proud of me. She's over there judging me. She's like, "Do you need help already?" No, I can do it. I can do it. Move. No, I can do it. All right, freeze frame for the camera. Go. Fuck, disable all.